Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Newbie Talks. I'm Chirp, and I'm so happy you're here today. This series is all about honest, grounded conversations with fellow spiritual practitioners. We'll talk about how their journeys began, the doubts they faced, and what they have learned along the way. Today, I'm joined by someone I truly admire in this beautiful community. And I'm especially excited because this is our very first episode. And I couldn't think of a more beautiful soul to begin the series with. Welcome, Linda, to Chirp Cheer N Chai.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor to not only be here, but to be your first. Thank you.
My honor. So, before we dive into your journey, I would love for you to introduce yourself in your own words. Please share who you are, what you do on your YouTube channel, and what kind of spiritual work you feel most drawn to right now at this stage.
Okay, my name is Linda. My channel is ButterflyReadings. And I got the name because when I was thrown out of the nest and told it's time, and the first show that I did, I talked a lot about the butterflies that I see all the time and some different kind of wild stories regarding the butterflies. I do butterfly readings on Thursdays at noon Eastern time. I use only butterfly cards, and my hope is to always give positive, uplifting messages. Now, one of the things that I like to do is collaborate with other readers, and I have a really good time, and it's a lot of fun. So I'll tell you a butterfly story.
Sure.
I see white butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I was sitting on my deck and I saw a white butterfly flew by, and I was like, "Hi, Mom." I feel like my mom sends me white butterflies to let me know she's close by. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going up to Jersey. I live in Maryland. I said, I go up to Jersey to wish her brother, my uncle, a happy 75th birthday. And I said, you always taught us how it's so important to be there, and to continue the relationships with family. And so I was having this conversation with this butterfly, and a second butterfly went flying by. And I always think when I see two, it's her older sister,
Wow.
which there was like a 10-year age difference between them. And she was my godmother.
Uh-huh.
And so I get up to Jersey and I'm telling my niece about these two butterflies that I'm having this conversation with telling. And what happens is two butterflies fly between us as I'm telling her the story.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay.
That's a confirmation. Yeah.
It is a confirmation. And then the second, but my godmother is my niece's grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So, I mean, it's like, wow,
Yes,
synchronicity.
yes.
So
Definitely.
then another story that I have on a butterfly is I was sitting on the deck one time. And I'm like, oh, Mom, I really miss you. I wish I could just call you and talk to you and hear your voice. And it was funny because this white butterfly flit by and comes up and hit my cheek, and it felt like my mom's lips kissing me.
Wow. That must have been so beautiful.
I'm like, okay, Mom, I got you. So that's how it became Butterfly Readings, is because of, and of course you can see the backdrop behind me.
Yes,
with
yes.
the butterflies and stuff like that. And a lot of times always on Thursdays when I'm doing readings, I always have on my butterfly earrings, necklace, rings, whatever. I have quite a bit of butterfly jewelry, which is wonderful. Hey, Judy, how are you? It's good to see you.
Hello, everyone.
So,
that's such a beautiful story. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely. So that's how it got. That's how I got my name. And I prefer doing oracle card readings, though I am still studying tarot. and hoping eventually to be able to read. I did do a reading the other day, and I read the cards, and it was perfect, and the reading was beautiful. And luckily every card that came out, I understood what it meant.
Yeah.
That's where I am. I'm still trying to understand, the different meanings and things like that. So very
But
excited.
I've seen your readings. Your readings really resonate all the time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That makes
Yeah.
me feel good. So, yeah.
So before we I asked you about that. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the notes here so I don't miss the
No,
question. So don't.
absolutely.
Yeah. So let's dive into the questions. The first question for you, Linda. How did your spiritual journey begin? Was there a triggering event, some kind of curiosity, a crisis, or just a calling?
I feel like it was a calling, and the thing that got me was I I was Catholic with my father and Protestant with my mother. And Protestant, it was the church that was closest that I could walk to as a kid. So I had very many different religions, and I never felt religious, but I always felt spiritual. And when my brother passed away, I had a visitation from my grandfather on my dad's side, and they had the same name. And my grandfather kind of tapped me and in my sleep, and I looked up, and it was like he was sitting there as though he had just walked in and lit up a cigarette and had a beer. but he's like, Linda, I want to let you know your brother's with me, Jody's with me, he's okay. And that was such a feeling of relief.
Yeah.
And I was probably around 24 at that time. So that would have been my first, and I wasn't sure, is this a dream or what? And when I explained it to the dream team that meets on Tuesday nights, they were like, no, that was definitely a visitation. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that would have been probably just a calling.
Right.
And then during COVID, I was very alone. My husband was in and out taking really good care of me and stuff like that, but he has a hobby, and he'd be downstairs doing his thing, and I'd be upstairs reading books, playing games or whatever. But I just really felt like, what is my purpose? January of 2024, I saw somebody had posted, it was Marianne. She does raging something, and she has 2 sites, and I never can remember what the other one is. But she's in Australia, and she put out a listing for your horoscope for the year 2024. And so I started so I wound up looking at my horoscope, and the next thing I know, I've got boom, 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 boom. Every psychic in town I'm getting notifications on. And I was like, what? And I found, hey, Karen Suki, thank you. Well, you didn't have a link. Right. So I should put that link in there. Hey, Judy, can you put the link in on my posts? Is that possible? But yeah, so with that, let me think, where was I? Okay.
You said things started happening like
so it was kind of a dark time, in my life. I just, when I found that and I started following it, and there was a lot of politics, and I never really followed politics, but in that year I learned more about politics than I ever even wanted to know. I had my opinions, I had my beliefs, and it is what it is. And so I actually found Allie at Heart and Soul Connected, and I connected to her something fierce. Then she connected me to Terry at Holding Your Space, and I was doing morning meditations there. And then I met someone through Allie, did some shows with them. And then, it's amazing how the community just comes together. And through them, I followed Val Klingenbeck and Marina and Taro Stash, Gerald, and just all these people, and Deborah at Grow Your Light. And when I met Deborah and I got involved in her tarot and numerology class, which I love her numerology. She's just, she's so on target. That's when I met Judy and Sarah. Okay. And became friends outside of, we talk on the phone, we text each other. And like I said, I'm going to meet them this year.
Yeah. That's such a wonderful story. It's a very powerful way to begin your journey, actually, your spiritual journey.
Right? It really has been.
Yeah. Profound experiences. Right?
It has been. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So I'll ask you the second question that I have. Okay. What was your biggest fear or doubt when you started?
Well, every time I read as a solo, I felt I got stronger and stronger and stronger as a solo reader. Every time I read with somebody, did collaborations, I never felt as good as them. That was really, really tough. And so my director took a frying pan and hit me upside the head. Well, long distance, but it was kind of that same thing. And so, and she's like, go back and watch some of your shows, go back and watch and see, go back and look, and she would be like, you're doing fine. You're doing great. People are, they're saying they resonate. They like you. They love your personality. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm giving good readings. So that was probably my biggest fear.
So
I actually, it's been almost a year.
Okay.
I started my channel the end of April of 2025.
Okay.
And so I feel very confident that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm doing an okay job. And if not, somebody would have told me, I would hope,
No, you're doing a great job, actually. So thank you for being so honest about that experience, that question, self-doubt thing. Thank you for being very, honest.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm an open book.
Correct. Yeah, you told me that. Yes. So the next question is, what changed in your life after you embraced spirituality? Like, did your mindset change, or some relationships changed, or did you like some of the spiritual people, they change even the career, right? Like, what changed in your life?
So probably for me, because I am retired, and I have time. The thing that changed the most would have been I went from darkness into light. Yay. And my life feels so much brighter. I'm so much happier. I have a purpose. I feel so much love from this community. I can't imagine anywhere. I mean, I was a Girl Scout leader for years. I was 15 years. I did Girl Scouting, leader and helper. I was a Girl Scout for 1 year, but as a leader, I was surrounded by kids, which I loved, and the parents, but I never felt as much love as this community spreads. And it's not just to me. They are just such an open and loving community. I just feel so blessed. I really do.
True, very true. Like I'm just involved a couple of weeks now, maybe a month, but I feel the community's energy here on YouTube, this particular community.
And look at you having interviews. Only being here for a month, maybe. You are doing awesome.
Thank you.
You're a beautiful reader. I mean, when you and Judy did your show, I was like,
thank you.
Very, very
Thank
good.
you so much. So it's really amazing how spirituality changes us from inside out. even if it is not really loud. Like sometimes the change is visible, sometimes it's internal, but anyway, change is inevitable. That's what I
Mhm.
feel.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So going on to the next question, what misconception do people have about tarot or any other spiritual work?
Well, so I think a lot of people feel like it's something that's evil. They don't
Yeah.
understand what it is. And so, to me, I just feel like, you know, try
Yeah.
it. I feel like people need to give it a chance and learn what it is. I mean, this divination has been around for a really long time.
Yes.
If they look into it, they'll find that it is not a bad thing. I mean, it could be a very good thing if you're living a decent life. You need to know which direction or whatever. I mean, I just feel like don't don't knock it until you tried it.
Yeah, true, true, very true. Yeah, that's such an important point to clarify, because some of the beginners, they don't enter because of this notion, right? Uh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I feel,
there's also ways for divination too. I mean, there's the oracle cards. There's the pendulum. There's the dowsing rods. I mean, psychic mediumship. I mean, just your intuition. I mean, I feel like I've always had intuition.
mhm.
It's like my clairs are pretty open. I open a magazine and see somebody smoking a cigar, and I can smell the smoke. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you know, I've like been to a point where I knew that something was going to happen before it
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah.
Um, there's I was at the dentist office one time, and I heard a whisper in my ear, and I asked the dentist, and it was like, yes, yes, that happened. So,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
another time, my third eye, my sister had breast cancer, and I said to her, what's the prognosis? And she's like, well, we just have to wait and see. And in my third eye, I saw a picture of my sister that almost looked like a charcoal picture that somebody had
Hmm.
painted.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden it just disintegrated and just left. And I thought it meant she died. And it really
Oh, I'm
scared
sorry.
me. And I told
Hmm.
my husband, and I told the dream team, because I figure, like, visitation, visualization, whatever. And they were like, oh no, it means the cancer disappeared. It's not coming back. And I was like,
Wow. Yeah.
so if something happens and you don't understand it, go to somebody who might understand it and let them help you get through
Yeah.
the
True.
situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I have
Sure.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very beautiful point there. Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, I feel sometimes like anything, divination tool or anything you take,
Mhm.
there is positive, there is negative. Your intentions matter.
Sure.
So if your intention is positive, everything is good.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fifth question for today is, if someone watching today, feels called but they're scared, what would you tell them right now today?
What I tell them all, I say, email me. My email is on my channel, and I will help
Yes.
you get started, and I will talk you through it, and I will be there with you. And if you want to come on my channel, I will lead you through your first time online, if that's what. I'll discuss all different things, different classes that I've taken, different things to help somebody get started. But yeah,
Yeah.
at ButterflyReadings all together, and that's what I tell them. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. I'm
actually,
sure. Yeah.
Akila B
Go
saw
ahead.
me. Akila B came on with Judy and I one time, and then she
Uh-huh.
saw me doing a solo, and she's like, "Oh, well, if Linda can do it, I can do it."
Yeah, we inspire each other.
Right. And
Yes,
then
you're
Jen
right.
Bowles, she came on with us for her first time. And, you know, she's trying to set up a channel now that she's got her new apartment. And Alexis Milner, she is going to come on with Judy and I in April. She's looking forward to it. She has her own channel and she's out there, but she just wants to come on and hang out with us because she thinks it'd be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, and that's what we do. And we've had Julianne was on with us. Karen Suki wants to come on with me and do oracle card readings, and I'm looking forward to that. So,
Sure.
that'll
Yeah.
be fun.
I'm sure someone needed to hear this today. So, yeah, maybe they'll contact you. So, be ready.
Be ready.
Yeah. So, let's jump into the final segment, the quick rapid fire.
Okay.
Name the first deck you owned.
Okay, the very first deck I owned was I bought an angel deck at the same time that I bought the Rider-Waite Smith deck. And I laid out the paper and I did the cards and I put them down and the death card was there and I said, okay, I better put this away until I know what it means. It scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
And I have not used that deck since.
Wow.
But I am pulling it out for my next class.
Sure. Yeah.
It scared me. But like people said, well, now that you know what it means, that it was the end of a bad part of time in my life with the emptiness and the loneliness, that now, here I am now.
Yeah. That's so wonderful. Name one card that represents your journey, your spiritual journey.
I love the star card. To me, the star card means hope that life is going to get better. I think it's a beautiful card. I love that she's, dipping into the water and, the moon or sun, whatever is there. I just feel like, it's got to be the moon if it's stars. But I love that card. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, that's my favorite card.
You are a star. You are a star.
Oh. Gonna make my head too big, and my director's gonna pop. That's what she tells me. Now pop that head of yours so it fits through the door again.
Okay, the next one. One spiritual habit you would never skip.
When I get a new deck, I always cleanse the cards. And what I do is I light a candle and I take the cards out and I fan them. And then I hold them over the flame, and I hold 3 times, and I just ask for cleansing, for that whenever I use them, that I use them to the best, most benevolent outcome. So
some of them I've heard they do the moon cleansing, right?
Yes.
Night.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And I always have this little bottle of cleansing energy spray, and the reason I picked it is because there's a butterfly on the label.
Wow. That's so beautiful.
I was at a psychic fair and metaphysical, and I saw that and I was like, oh, clearing energy.
That's for you. Yeah, it's like your signature. Right. So one common mistake that spiritual newbies make.
Not reaching out if they have questions. This community is so welcoming. It's like, if you're a newbie, there's somebody that can help you get over the hump, if they can help you answer a question, or just be there as support as you get started.
Yeah, true. Very true. So since we have time, I think we can pull one card. Do you want to pull one card to see what energy does this community need right now?
What card does the community need right now? Let's see. I have a bunch of energy cards, but they're all behind me or behind here. Let's see what we got. One more. So my energy.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
All right, so one card.
Yeah.
And it says here, the sun.
Wow.
And so it is card number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that that is me in that pool of water. And I'm
Yeah.
probably giving mermaid readings because that's what I do in the summer. I
Mm-hmm.
go out. I don't know if
Okay.
you were around in the summer when I was in my pool every day, water walking, and I would
Oh.
stop and I
Mhm.
would pull mermaid cards and do readings every day and do shorts. And so
Okay.
to me, this is a sign that like the sun is coming. March 8th, we go into spring forward,
Prince.
spring
Okay.
forward, fall
Spring
back, spring
forward.
ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to lose sleep, but who cares? It's going to be
Yeah.
later longer.
That's
I'll
true.
take a
Yeah.
nap.
Yes.
But
Yeah, that's a beautiful card.
the flowers and the pool and all the lotus in the
Mm-hmm.
pool, and the lotus has a special meaning to me, but
Okay.
because that's what the name of the past vice president means, is
Okay.
lotus. So that's the card that I have for everyone, and I really do feel like the sun is coming.
The spring
Sunshine.
is coming. Yeah.
Spring is coming. Positive things are coming. Life is just going to get better and better, and we're gonna find that a lot of stuff that was yuck, the snow's going to melt. The
Yeah.
sun's going
Yeah.
to come
Yeah.
out.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That was the perfect card. The end card. That's very good.
I was
Thank
only the
you.
messenger. Spirit picked. Look, you saw me shuffle.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That was the collective energy for today, right?
That
Yeah.
is it. The sun is coming out, and we are filled with sunshine. And with sunshine comes love and happiness and joy. Good stuff.
Sure.
Good stuff.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I can't believe we're at the end of the
I know.
show today. This went so fast, and you were so good.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah, this has been such a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much, Linda, for
What do you
sharing your
have coming
journey.
up? Can I ask what you've got coming up? What's going on?
Um,
Do you have shows?
there was one scheduled with Scott for tomorrow, but because of his connections, that got cancelled. So I don't know when next it'll happen or not. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And I have a couple of them who signed up for this spiritual show for
Excellent.
in March.
Okay. Well, March
Yeah.
is Sunday.
Yes. Yeah.
Today's Friday. Tomorrow's
Yeah.
Saturday. March is
True.
Sunday. I mean,
Yeah.
don't
It's
say it
coming
like it's so
soon.
far away.
Right. So yeah, what are you having in the
So
lined up?
tomorrow I am on with Hibiscus Healings with Sarah. We do 2 of Cups,
Mhm.
friends hanging out and reading cards, and so I'm really looking forward to that. And then Monday, I think. Oh, got to go to March. Monday is I'm free. So Sunday we were supposed to be on with Scott, with Sarah, Judy, and Scott and I, but that's been moved. And then I have butterfly readings on Thursday, and then I'm on with Scott on the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course every Thursday at noon Eastern time. So I am missing some stuff on here. I better I better look at my phone and add it to this.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm staying busy. I'm staying out of trouble.
That's lovely. I think what I'm taking away from this conversation is that every spiritual path begins with a question, a spark, and grows with courage. Am I right?
That is so true. That is so
Okay.
true.
Yeah.
I know
And
you find it hard
for
to believe, but I'm shy.
me too, I'm an introvert,
Me too.
actually.
But I'm an outgoing introvert. I finally figured that out last year. You're
Wow.
like, there's no way you're shy, but I was when I was younger. And if I'm in a group of people that I don't know, I'm like the wallflower.
Okay.
But when I'm with a group of people, when I go home, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I just can't breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You are,
but I
yeah, I
am,
get that.
but I
Yeah.
am, I'm an outgoing, and that wasn't so easy when I was younger. It's been a lot
Hmm.
easier since I got older. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good, nice new term I learned today. Like I didn't come across so far. That thank you for sharing. And for everyone who's watching, uh, if you've been feeling curious, uncertain, or you feel called towards something deeper, let this be your sign or reminder that it's okay to begin slowly, and you don't have to have everything figured out at once, all at once.
yes.
Yeah. And please make sure to connect with Linda here on YouTube. Her channel is linked below. If the energy resonated with you today, I know you'll all love Linda's work and all her lives. I enjoy it very much, all the lives.
Oh,
So,
good. I'm glad.
this is just the beginning of Spiritual Newbie Talks, and I'm so grateful that you all are here today for our very first conversation. There are some more amazing guests lined up already for March episode, so stay tuned. And Linda, do you have any parting words for the community?
Well, I just feel so much love from the community, but I just want to tell you that you did an amazing job with your interview,
Thank
your
you.
questions. I am so proud of you, and I was so honored to be your first guest, and that you got to practice on me.
Thank you for letting me practice. Thank you. It's my honor. It's my
Oh,
honor. That was,
thanks, honey. Thank
yeah,
you so
it
much.
was a beautiful thing. And before we close, I just want to quickly tell something very personal, why I called this series Spiritual Newbie Talks. In my book, Pearls of My Mind, I explore what I call the three S's: the spiritual newbie, the seeker, and the sage. So they are not levels, they are just like lenses that I use in the book. They represent how we might think, feel, or react in different emotional situations depending on where we are in our growth, spiritual growth.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
this space, Spiritual Newbie Talks, is really an honoring of that first lens, the spiritual newbie, the beginner, the one still feels like that they don't fit in, or they are still figuring out, in that stage. And the truth is that we all are newbies in some way,
Yes.
right? That's what I believe. But more than anything, I hope this series the series reminds you that wherever you are, whoever you are, it could be newbie, seeker, or a sage, you are exactly where you need to be today. And the book, my book, Pearls of My Mind, is linked below if you're interested, in the description. So thank you all beautiful people for spending this time with us. May your path unfold gently, and may you trust the timing of your own becoming. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and take care. Loads of love and light from both of us. Thank you, Linda.
Thank
Namaste,
you. Thank you
everyone.
so much.
Thank you.
Blessing.
Hello and welcome to Spiritual Newbie Talks. I am Chirp, and I'm so happy you're here today. This series is all about honest, grounded conversations with fellow spiritual practitioners. We'll talk about how their journeys began, the doubts they faced, and what they have learned along the way. Today, I'm joined by someone whose presence in this beautiful community I truly appreciate. I'm so happy to welcome Karen here to Chirp Cheer N Chai. Karen, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So, before we dive into your journey, I would love for you to introduce yourself in your own words. Please share who you are, what you do on your YouTube channel, and what kind of spiritual work you feel most drawn to right now.
So, my name is Karen. I go by TapiocaThievery on YouTube. My channel name is the Juniper Veil. Um, right now, I'm doing a lot of tarot readings. So, I've been learning tarot since I would say August. I started the channel in August, and I just figured as soon as I started to practice, I would post the videos. This way, it's easy for me to go back and look at them. And then, if anybody else was interested in learning tarot as well, they could watch me either fail or do well or make mistakes, along the way. So, in case anyone is interested, they don't have to feel like, they need to do everything
Yeah,
perfectly.
right. Lovely. Yeah, that's so true. So, I'll go ahead with the first question. How did your spiritual journey begin? Was there a triggering event or some kind
Mhm,
of curiosity or crisis, or was it your calling?
mhm. Let's see. I would say that, well, recently, let's see, when did it start? I would say around this time last year, maybe a little earlier. Um, Linda G's channel came up in my algorithm out of nowhere. And so I started watching her. And through her, I saw, of course, a lot of other readers that I really like and that I still watch all the time. And I felt like watching her made it a lot easier to get through 2025 because it was a very stressful year, just even like politically. It was just so stressful. I don't think without watching and being a part of the community, like it would have been very hard to get through the year without feeling stressed. And I started to take some classes last year, like with Marina. I took a class, and I took a class on manifesting with Val with Dragonfly Crystals and Tarot Stash. And through taking these classes, that's how I kind of realized that I kind of had these weird spiritual quirks like my whole life, even as a kid, like kind of like
Mhm.
claircognizant, like I would just kind of know things. My mom and my grandmother, they would read tarot cards as well, but I don't feel like I was like exposed to it a lot. But it was just something that was kind of always in the family, especially astrology. My grandma would always use astrology to pick her lottery numbers. And it was just like a regular everyday thing I grew up with. So it wasn't like odd to me or anything like that. I'm like, yeah,
Okay.
even though I went to school and I did physics and I did like hard sciences, I still have that part of me that is like, yeah, I know technically the gravity of Pluto doesn't affect
Mhm.
me, but there's something going on and I just don't know what it is, sort of thing. So, yeah, so I just decided to start reading tarot cards first just to see what happens. And I like the art behind them. I like the messages that they can give you as well.
Mhm. How lovely. So maybe tarot was like in you, just like that.
Yeah.
You had it in you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your biggest fear or doubt when you started?
I guess the biggest fear was just kind of not being any good at it. Like, doing spreads and then not being able to really put the cards together or have them just be kind of, I don't want to say wrong, but just have it seem like there's no sense to them, I guess. Because then it just feels like you're playing with cards and it really didn't mean anything. But I found that I actually got the opposite. So I was scared that it would be a little not work per se, but I think it actually works really well. And because it's not just about reading the future or something like that. It's a lot more involved than that.
Right. Yeah, I think this is a very common fear, right? Like
Mhm.
that, like you're not good enough, or you don't understand it better.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that big enough fear. Yeah, I think all of us
Yeah.
went through
Right. And it's
this
a
kind
lot of
of
cards. So
fear.
it's like 78 cards, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you feel like you need to know the meanings
Yeah.
instantly, but yeah, you don't
Right.
realize that it's not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That is lovely. So what changed in your life after you like embraced tarot or spirituality? Like,
Mhm.
did your mindset change, or was there any change in relationships or your career?
I feel like I think generally I feel more calm. Like I don't worry about things as much anymore. There's a kind of like an understanding you get of the universe where it's like you can be prepared for something without feeling like you have to worry about it. Like not it's not everything that happens is going to be good, but it doesn't feel like when it's not good, it's going to be really bad anymore. Like it doesn't feel like that. It's
True.
just everything is more calm, and being part of the community I think helps with that as well. I feel like it's nice to get into this when I knew I had interests in astrology and card reading when I was like a teenager, but I didn't really pursue it. But I had an interest in it, but I didn't really know anybody else who had an interest in it. So it's nice to
Yes.
have that community. It makes me feel um I guess I feel more confident in my everyday decisions in general.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. This community is really very
Mhm.
welcoming, warm, and inclusive.
Yeah.
It's very good to have this
Yeah.
support, right? It's
Yeah.
positive. I always felt positive things about this community, even
Yeah.
though I just started knowing the community recently.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, this sounds so grounding, and your experience is like rewarding and grounding at the same time. Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
right. So, what misconception do people have about tarot or any spiritual work?
I feel like, there's one misconception that I feel like when I was growing up, I was exposed to a few different religions, like, and there are people that are very hardline and are like, it's the devil, and they're like, you can't do things like that. Um, and I feel
Yeah,
like that's a huge misconception. I mean, you're not. It's funny because I think it's the opposite. I feel like whatever it is that you believe in, whether it's like a Christ consciousness that's been created pretty much by humans, or a being in the universe, or whatever it is that you believe in, it's all the same. So, like, the cards are just another way to help you in your everyday life to make decisions or to think things through. In a lot of ways, they're like a psychological tool as well. So, like, somebody, even if they don't believe in any type of like religious or spiritual stuff, technically, you could still use the cards and look at it from more of like a neurological aspect. So I think that's kind of like what I think the biggest misconception is. This feeling like you have, or if you want to get into it and you just don't feel like you're woo woo enough, like I don't think
yeah,
people should have that misconception either. It's not like you have to have people come up to you and tell you you're a psychic in order to use a card. Like, it's fine.
yeah, true, very true. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you mentioned that, because I think this is very common too. Like, people really step back when you
Mm,
say that you're involved with spiritual practices, because that's what they
yeah.
understand,
Mhm.
right? But it's not true. You're right.
Right. Yeah.
That's so true. So, if someone watching today feels called but they're scared, what would
Mhm.
you tell them right now?
Um, I would say it's something that what's nice about it is that you can do this type of thing alone. So like if you weren't ready to share that your interest, that's fine because it's something that you can just work on yourself. Whether it's like tarot cards or meditation or trying to speak to your guides or things like that. I would say to not worry if you're worried. I mean, I can understand coming from the idea of you don't know who you're talking to or you don't know like who you're working with. I completely understand that because you could be religious or not religious, and that's still kind of a little scary. And so um, there's a lot of resources like on the internet. There's a lot of books about protecting yourself or grounding yourself. So even if it wasn't something that you wanted to jump into, you could still do a lot of education for yourself. Research it first, and this way it'll help you to figure out if it's something you really want to get into or not. Um, because it would be odd for you to be interested and then read a book about it and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it could happen. I don't know. And also just like watching people on YouTube or TikTok or wherever else you watch, these types of things. There's a lot of good advice. There's a lot of people that have a lot of advice that kind of contradict with each other. Um, so that's why for me, I guess from my academic background, I rely heavily on books, especially ones that have been cited by a lot of people, like those,
Mhm.
the books that are kind of classics. um I've also had like readings with people and they've told me like where to go. Like if I have a reading with somebody and I feel like they were very accurate and I feel like I could trust them, then whatever sources they give me, that also makes me more sure of like what I'm getting into and what I'm doing. um Trying to think of something else. And I mean, sometimes even if you just want to say you want to do tarot, but you kind of just want to do it for fun, just pulling cards the same time somebody online is pulling cards and seeing what you get, like that's like a form of practice. And it's
Yeah.
just seeing how your cards are interpreted compared to how they are interpreting their cards. And when you pull similar cards, it's very interesting.
It's a
You're like, oh,
confirmation. Yeah.
wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my mathematical
Right.
mind goes, well, what's the chances that you could have pulled this card and they pulled that card? I got all the statistics in my head and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta quiet down the statistics and just go with it.
Right. Just go with the flow. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
This is such a reassuring advice. Yeah, I have never heard of this, your tip that you pull card when you see what someone. It's a good
Yeah.
one, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you get confirmation even though you're not connected directly with them, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I like to
it's a
pull
good
cards
one.
when
Right.
I watch Danny Shay because he'll
Oh,
remind you and he's like, pull cards with me, everybody. And I'm like, oh yes, yes. You're right, Danny. You're right.
that's lovely. Yeah. So I also was like thinking about your channel name. Is there a story behind Tapioca Thievery or the
uh,
Juniper?
Tapioca, thievery, and juniper are three of my favorite words just because I like how they sound. And so
Oh,
like,
that's lovely.
when you're online and you gotta create a handle and you're going through all these things in your brain. Those are like words that stuck out with me. So I'm pretty sure I used tapioca thievery somewhere else as well. And I just used it on
Hmm.
YouTube. But for some reason, like those words, I just like how they sound
Yeah.
so much. And juniper is also a word that I just really like the sound of it. And but I knew I wanted juniper in my channel name, but I didn't know what else to put in there. So I actually was like, I pulled up like ChatGPT or something, and I was like, brainstorm some names for a tarot channel that has this word in it, and you give it like,
Yeah.
I don't know, some type of background or ideas that you feel. And like it gave me a whole list of names. And one of them was a juniper veil. And I'm like, that's it.
Oh, that's nice.
I
Yeah.
needed
But they sound
that
really
little bit.
unique. Yeah.
Yeah. I needed that little bit of help to just like finish it off. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Actually, yeah, it's not a bad thing to, look for
Yeah.
inspiration, right? It's good. Like you get the possible, names, and then
Yeah.
you see which you feel drawn to, and then
Yeah.
you choose that. Just good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on to our final segment, which is quick rapid fire. So I'll just ask you a few quick questions.
Okay.
Name the first deck you owned.
The first deck I owned is the, let's see, 88 Gemstones. And this, I just got it off
That
of
looks
Amazon.
so nice.
Yeah. And it's
Okay.
it's like a black and gold sort of deck. So I really like
Oh, that looks
different
beautiful.
colors. And and the cards are very nice. So
Yeah.
that was the first one I got. I was like, I like that color scheme. I like what we're going for there. So
Mhm.
I tried that.
So is that like the 78 number, or
Mhm.
is it different?
No, it's 78. I don't know why it's called 88 gemstones though. I have no
Okay.
There's gemstones on all the cards, but maybe there's a total I have no idea why it's called 88.
Oh,
But it's this
oh,
regular 78 deck, so
yeah, but it looks really beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. So name one card that represents your journey, maybe your spiritual journey.
Yeah, the card that sticks out to me the most is the Sun card, because when I first got this deck, I was like, I was shuffling them, and I'm like, I said, and my first question was, should I do tarot? And then I got the Sun card, and I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay. I was like, that's a very direct answer. So I'm like, well, that made me feel nice. But it's also funny because the other card I really like for some reason is the Hanged Man. And I guess because when I look at this card, it gives me like serenity. Like it doesn't feel to me like this person's in trouble.
Yes.
Or if they were in trouble, they're like fine with it. And
Yeah.
And they're just kind of hanging out. And when I was a kid, I used to like to hang upside down, and I thought it was fun. So I don't know. There's something about that card where I'm like, it just looks like a person who's just observing,
chilling,
and thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like that.
That's nice. Yeah. I too see the card. When I see it, I too feel the childlike energy. That's what I get from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun card.
It is.
Yeah. So what is one spiritual habit you would never skip?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like it has a lot to do with what I wear. Like, 'cause I like stones and crystals, and I can't seem to go anywhere without like wearing them now. For some reason, they just like mean a lot to me when I wear them. And I never used to wear jewelry, like ever. And now it's like I have necklaces like with little stones on them, and I have like rings, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like I need to put them on in order to feel like whole. Even my mother-in-law was like, "You're wearing jewelry now." I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel these stones kind of give you the grounding energy, right? Like instant grounding.
Yeah, I got stones for my cats too, and I put them on my cat collar. Because I have 3 cats. One of them, she had like this big bump on her back leg, And we didn't know what it was. And we took her to the vet, and the vet was like, oh, that might be cancer. It could be, because of they can develop cancer from vaccinations, like certain cats, like they may
Oh.
have it eventually. And you know how you usually give them vaccinations and like their back end area, like their leg. So it was like a usual place where you would give an injection. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to have to schedule to bring her in for surgery and look at it and see what it is. And she also has to get teeth surgery and things like that, because she has an allergy to tartar. So when she gets tartar on her teeth, it breaks them down, and we have to get them taken out. So this poor little kitty cat.
Oh.
She's a cute
Yeah.
little thing. But so I was like, well, I'm going to get her a little turquoise, and I'm going to put it on her collar. And I'm like, and there was a group on Facebook that was like an animal Reiki group. And I was like, I wrote them a little note. I was like, she has this. They don't know what it is. So maybe we can send her some healing energy. And then I guess a couple of weeks later, when I brought her in, we noticed that the lump was completely gone. Like, it's not there.
Wow.
And it was a big thing. And the vet was like, it kind of has tendrils. And it's like, and we brought it, and they were like, we couldn't find anything. They were like, there's nothing there. And then they were like, and her teeth are fine. She just needs a cleaning. She doesn't need any teeth taken out. And I'm like,
Wow.
maybe it worked. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just very happy. So now I'm like, I feel very much like I like having those crystals. And I'm like, I have a cat who has arthritis, so I got her a crystal to make sure that she's agile and she feels okay. And I'm like, hopefully it works. I'm not questioning it.
That's so beautiful. Actually, the story is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? It's just healed. Maybe the energy healing. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
It was cool.
Since we are talking about your pets, I have this question in mind.
Yeah.
So I'm adding on to the list of questions. So when you do your spiritual practices, any kind of could be meditation or tarot reading or anything, do you see any behavioral changes in your pets? Like, do they get drawn to you or something? Like,
yeah, it's funny because this is like my office, and the office is almost like an attic. Like, it's all the way on top of the house. And if I'm not up here, they don't come up here. So when I'm like recording videos, I'll notice that they come up here. Even when I'm just like watching videos that other people make, they'll come up here and they'll like sleep, or they'll sleep on my lap, and they just kind of come around a lot. And sometimes, they don't like to always be in the same room as each other, but I'll end up having 3 cats in here. There'll be 3 of them. And I'm like, I can't believe you're all 3 in here and you're not fighting. I was like, this is amazing. I don't know. So sometimes like I remember I had one of my earlier videos, and I said I had a visitor because my cat, she just started walking across the table and all the cards. And I'm like, yeah, she's here.
Wow.
What am I going to do? She came here to say hello.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Right. I have always had this in mind, like, because I've seen children drawn to, like, my son when he was young, like maybe 2-3 years old, or 4 years probably. Whenever I do my meditation, maybe even 5 minutes, wherever he is in the house, he runs to my room. So I did, like, he doesn't know, but I don't know, something draws him in. So I had this question. Maybe pets have the same thing.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're sitting down and I'm going to sit on you.
I want that energy.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's so lovely. So do you want to pull one card, for the audience today? What energy does this community need to know right now?
All right. And I'm going to use my new cards. I got the Dumpster Fire Oracle. It took a while to come in. I was surprised. I think it was the weather because we had that bad snowstorm. But they're very cute cards. Like I think it looks like it would be kind of naughty cards, but they're not. They're very nice. They're very cute cards. I don't know why the outside deck looks like that. So this is for the community. What do we need to know as a community? Let's see. I got the roller skating ostrich. And this talks
this
about
image is really different. Yeah.
This talks about
It's
trying
nice.
something new. So I think
Wow.
it says awkward but fun. Wobbling forward is how you grow your wings, stretch them wide. So I think that's pretty cool because we're kind of, talking about that. If you want to try
Right.
something new, don't be scared.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because you never know. You never know. This ostrich may become a professional roller skater. Who knows?
Right.
So yeah.
True, very true. But that imagery is so cute. The artwork, it's like you can't forget that.
No.
Like you can't unsee it.
No.
Roller skating.
So we all need to be roller skating ostriches.
Right. Amazing. That was actually a very apt reading for this session, right? That, like one card and it just came out. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's true.
So, right. This has been such a thoughtful and grounding conversation. I loved it. I can't believe we are at the end of the show.
I know. So quick.
I know. Yeah. Thank you so much, Karen, for sharing your experiences and reflections with openness. And what really I appreciate about today's discussion is how it reminds us that everyone's spiritual path unfolds in its own way. And there's no single, right way or something like that. Like everyone's different and we all have our own experiences. If you're watching this and you have been feeling curious, uncertain, or quietly drawn towards something deeper, allow yourself the space to explore at your own pace. Growth often begins with simple moments of awareness. So go ahead, all the viewers. And please do connect with Karen. If you have resonated with her today, I'm sure you'll enjoy the work she does on her channel. I have the description below in the, the description area. As we close today's conversation, I also want to share the reason why I named this series Spiritual Newbie Talks. In my books, Pearls of My Mind, I explore what I call the 3 S's, the spiritual newbie, the seeker, and the sage. They are not levels, but they are like lenses. So they represent how we might think or feel or react in a certain emotional situation, depending on where we are in our spiritual growth at that moment. So this space, Spiritual Newbie Talks, is really an honoring of that first lens that I used in my book, the beginner, energy, the curious one, the one asking questions, and the one who is still figuring out. I think we all are, in a way, figuring out life. So that's why I used it. I have included the link of my Pearls of My Mind book in the description if you want to check out. Karen, before we go, before we wrap, do you have any parting words you would like to share with the community?
I guess more than anything, I feel like if you're drawn to try something out, don't be scared. I'm very surprised about how much I feel different as a person by just reading tarot cards, where I wasn't expecting it. So the year, even though it was a very tough year, 2025 went very fast, and it was still very rewarding, even though you kind of thought I thought it would be a year that I wouldn't want to remember, but instead it turned out to be a pretty great year. So just do what you feel like you're compelled to do. Make time for yourself. I think that's also something we kind of forget to do.
Yeah, that's a very lovely reminder. Thanks for sharing. So thank you so much, Karen, for coming to the show and being with us today. And I had a really wonderful time. Thank you. And yeah, thank you all beautiful people for spending this time with us. May your path unfold gently and may you trust the timing of your own becoming. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and take care. Loads of love from both of us.
Yes.
Namaste. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Newbie Talks. I think somewhere we're getting...
It looks like we're live. It says we're live. We're 30.
Sorry, I think I have some feedback here. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I forgot to mute that. I'm sorry.
I was too busy talking to you. I didn't even set up my second computer. So.
Oh, yeah. Right. So, yeah. Well, everyone, welcome to Spiritual Newbie Talks. I'm Chirp, and I'm so happy you're here today.
Yes.
Yes. Welcome, Judy. And yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for accepting and being here with us today.
Oh, you're so welcome, Chirp. I appreciate you inviting me. So I'm really excited for this interview. So, yeah.
My pleasure. Yeah. So this series is all about honest, grounded conversations with fellow spiritual practitioners. We'll talk about how their journeys began, the doubts they faced, and what they have learned along the way. So today I'm joined by a beautiful soul from our community whose energy and work I truly appreciate.
Oh,
it's such a joy to welcome Judy to Chirp Cheer N Chai.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Happy
so
spring.
Lovely.
First spring day today.
Right. Happy spring.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to talk about the significance of today?
Well, today's a big day, right? Because today's the first day of spring. It's the equinox, the vernal equinox today. So happy spring to everybody. And also today happens to be International Astrology Day. So for all of our astrology folks out there, yay for us, right? And also today happens to be when Mercury goes direct. Yay! We're so excited about that. But hold on to your seats because let it wait until it gets out of its pre-shadow or post-shadow. So we still have some more.
Right. Yeah, the day is actually it's very bright and happy day, but still you feel that energy, right? Today.
Yes.
It feels big. Everything feels big.
Exactly. It's like, what is going on here? It's like there's so much stuff going on. And you're like, where do we concentrate? But yeah,
right.
We're through it. We always will somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah. So before we dive into the journey, like your journey, I would like for you to introduce yourself in your own words, like share who you are, what you do on your YouTube channel, and what kind of spiritual work you feel most drawn to right now.
Oh, great question. Okay, so my name is Judy, and my channel is Judyintheskies. And I do have a YouTube channel, Judyintheskies, and also a website, Judyintheskies.com. So you can actually look me up and take a look at what I have to offer. So my journey is a little bit different, only because I wouldn't say that I am a well-trained, studied tarot card reader, or, oracles are easy because you just read whoever created it. That's how that works. But for me, I look at how spirit comes to me is through imagery, music, words, things that are not necessarily on the cards themselves. I was talking to Chirp about it, and I asked if I could just show a couple of things, examples, to kind of show you how I work. One of them, this is, I have several decks, as you can see behind me, quite a bit. And let me do this real quick, because I want to show who I work with. This is Deborah Zakow's deck, and this one is called Clarity Tarot. So all of us were reading for a client. And when I picked up this card, I asked the gal that we were reading if the person that she was interested, wanted more information on in regards to, was she a smoker? And the funny thing about this card is that, to me, this looked like she was actually smoking, and then you could see this little line coming out of her mouth, and it looks like she's holding a flint lighter.
Yeah.
In my head. And it's funny because Deborah had mentioned, she goes, I've never seen that before, because it's actually a mountain. But my little brain, how it worked was like, how it was coming to me is, and to give her the validation that I was talking to the right person, was to ask if this person was a smoker, because that's what I was getting. So with that answer, which was correct, then we started having the dialogue. So it's interesting how, even though this is the Queen of Cups, and she was the queen, it was a female, older figure. And this one woman is an older figure. But the thing that made it more impactful was that she was a smoker. And that was really interesting. In regards to the same person, I had asked her, when I looked at another card through Deborah's deck, was this Nine of Cups. And I said, you know, it's interesting about this one is like, because we were talking about two people, friends. And I said, it's funny because I'm getting a real big pull to like this old world woman, and also music in the background. Like, did she love music?
Yeah.
And apparently it was that two women would go out and do karaoke together. So you see, this Nine of Cups would not have that unless there was actually symbols of music in the background that caught my attention. So, I mean, things like that, I find it interesting. Don't ask me how that works, but apparently it works for me. Yes. I'm very honored to have
true.
Talk to me in my language.
No, I do believe also, like, information, wisdom appears to you when you need it at the right time, right? So what you see, I don't see. What I see, you don't see.
Absolutely.
Right,
and it goes to music too. One day I was, I got a phone call from a friend, and he had asked me if one of the guys that he was trying to set me up with called me. I said, well, no, he hasn't called. And I kept getting this song, TLC's Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. And, you know, my kids were younger, and they know the song. I know I've heard the song, but I don't remember the whole thing. And why would it come up, you know, 10 years later or whatever it was? It's like, but you know what, Chirp? It was like an earworm. It would not stop. It would just keep going and going. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? So when I got to my home, I put everything down and I looked up the song. I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense to me. So then I looked at the lyrics. And I'm like, okay. And then what I did is I actually had to watch the video. And then I went to the comments. So with all of that, it just kind of showed me that this person was probably not the right person to go out on a date with. So we left it at that. So,
Your instincts are always right. Yeah.
Well, not all the time, but from now on, maybe.
Yeah, true. So do you have a story about why you named your channel Judyintheskies?
You know, I just liked it. You know, I guess because I never really felt I fit in. You know, when I was in school, I'm going to admit I wasn't a very good student because nothing really held me down, you know, held me grounded into the earth reality. I was always out there thinking that, you know, there's a lot more fun stuff out there than, you know, here. I mean, had they had, you know, metaphysical studies, you know, had they, you know, done things like, you know, stuff more my style, more my interest, then it would be a different story. And I think true to even today, I think that school education should be really geared on what the child has true interests in, right? That keeps them coming and wanting to come, as opposed to having to come and learn things that they probably won't ever remember anyways because they don't want to. So that's my thought. That's my soapbox.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah. So we'll dive into the questions. The first question for you: how did your spiritual journey begin? Like, was there an event that triggered your journey, or was there just curiosity or a crisis or some kind of calling?
Very good. I just want to say hi to Milk. Hi, Milk. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
So this is a really interesting one because it has like two parts to it. But I've said this before, and if people follow me, they pretty much kind of know it. But what happened in a short form is that I was told from spirit, like it just comes down like in my head. It comes in my head and it said, are you going to do the same thing you did to the young man? And I was like shocked, because what it meant was, are you not going to deliver the message that this person needs to hear or have?
Okay.
And that really struck me because, again, because the first time I heard this young man talking to me while his father is standing in front of me, that voice that I heard was this young man telling me, tell my father I'm sorry. And the father is talking to me, and all I could see is his mouth moving and nothing. I could not hear a word he was talking. I just heard this young man wanting so much to talk, for me to talk about that. And I thought, there's no way. This was so many years ago. It was not even anything in my mental capacity that I thought I even could do or know. So fast forward many years later, when I was told to give this bear that I happened to keep putting into my cart, I gave it to her. And then I thought I was crazy, and I had to explain to her and the daughter why I would give a 20-year-old woman a bear. And I told her I didn't understand this. I'm just going to tell you the story. And when I did, she just broke down and cried. I don't know the situation and what happened, but the mother sent me the thank you letter saying that you have no idea what this meant. And so I'm going to go with that. And I never ask any questions, but that's where I felt like at least I had some connection there. So yeah, I guess that would be it.
Sure. That's a beautiful story.
It's
It's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
it's wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's like you get the downloads like suddenly.
Yeah, and it's like scary because you're like going, okay, what was that? And you're questioning your reality, and also, you know, can you do this without hurting or harming another person with the message?
Right.
So yeah,
Beautiful. So it's amazing, right? How the paths often find us before
yeah,
you find. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. That was it. And you know, I had you know, you just, some of the things that I see are probably a little sharp, and so, you know, I will always say what I see, because, you know, I always say if you're big enough to ask the question, you should be big enough to take the answer, good, bad, or indifferent. But it's like, I would never do anything to harm anybody, obviously, that, you know, but it's like, for example, when I looked at this card here, this card came up to me, and I asked the young lady, I said, do you think that the man that you're with, or the one that she was interested in, is seeing other women? And she's like, no. When I looked at this card, I'm like, I didn't. I just said, I'm looking at this card, I'm like, I beg to differ. I didn't say anything, but it was like, we were all practicing, and I'm thinking, okay, so how do you go about, you know, delivering a message that might not be what the person wants to hear? And that's a tough one. So, but yeah.
Right. True. So, what was your biggest fear or doubt when you started?
I guess the biggest fear is the information that was given. Is it accurate? You know, so you know, that is, I guess that is for a lot of people who do this work. And how do you go about delivering it in a way that is received in a way without, you know, without shocking a person or whatnot? So an example, this was probably like my biggest aha example, was I was reading for a woman who I'd never met before. I was in her presence, and this card came up. And okay, so it's the Five of Pentacles, and people who've seen me before know this story. Five of Pentacles is like you're left out in the cold, you feel like you're destitute, but you can get through this, right? But I knew with this person that I was reading with, that that's not what this message was about. And so when I looked at this card, I was told that there was a man, and I got the male figure. He was just like, it's like they're connected to you and you just know it's a man, you know, a young man. I don't know how it is. Believe me, I have no idea. Don't know. I can't explain it other than how I could try to. But he was a young man, and he wanted to let her know how sorry he was that he unalived himself.
Oh.
And that's hard. And I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I can't say that. And he goes, you have to say it. And so I went around saying, I know what this card means, but this is what I'm feeling, that this is what I'm getting. And so when I did say that to her, she was so happy to know that he came through, because he was her son's like best friend, but they were like son and daughter. So there was like a soulmate connection. There was like a bond, you know, from time to time. And when she heard that, it just made her feel that she was connected to him.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. And not the funny thing, but it is interesting, I guess you would say. When I read for her son, this, you know how you shuffle? This card kept going in between.
Wow.
And I said, and I'm getting chills right now. I said, he's coming, he's here. And he knew exactly what I was talking about. I go, he just wanted to be sorry. And this man was, he was like a big tough guy. And I could just feel the emotion in his soul. And it was just amazing that giving the son a reading, and this keep coming up in between the shuffle. There's no way you can't deny. You have to explain why this was a hello.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. Sometimes you just know it's something else. Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Because the funny thing about this gentleman that I read for, so I'm reading for him, and then I'm saying some things, and I go, so does this, resonate with you? And he goes, no. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go, I can't do this, because this is early on. And so then I said, so I don't know, something came over me, and it was like, okay, let me ask you something. I just said it like this. Let me ask you something. It's like Spirit's obviously taking over, because I don't know because I'm really nervous. Yeah. This guy is he's like a biker dude. So I was kind of like, a little intimidated. First male that I've actually read for, so that was kind of intimidating in itself. But it was funny because the situation goes like this. So I go, so let me tell you something. I go, did your mom force you to do this? And he goes, yeah. I go, you don't believe this, do you? He goes, no, not really. I'm like, okay, thank you. So then I went to this whole thing. I go, pick a stone for me. So I have him pick a stone and all this other stuff. I don't know why. I had gathered a bunch of stones, and I had him pick out a specific, out of all these stones, a specific one that resonated with him. And I was doing all this reading for him, and it actually landed. Now that got everything out of the way, like your mom wanted you to do this, we get it. Okay, so now we're going to do it a different way. So then, fast forward, they're reading really well. And at the end, he goes, well, what's this stone about? And I'm like, oh, that's right. So then I pulled out my crystal Bible book, and I have them all, and so I pulled it out, and let's see, I think it was lapis lazuli is what he picked. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, so yeah. So it says lapis lazuli opens the third eye, balances the throat chakra, and it talks about protective stone that connects to spirit guides. And then so I gave him like little bullet points on the stone, and he was just like, he was like blown away. And I was blown away, because I'm like, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
Stone out of this book. But it was
so beautiful.
It was fantastic, sure, because I asked the guys before I do a reading with a person individually, what do I need? Like, what kind of decks do I need? Do I need any stones? Do I need whatever it is? I just do it that way. And that happened to be one that I did for him, and it just worked for me and him. So it was beautiful.
It's fascinating, to know about these stories, really.
It's fun. I mean, it's like I couldn't make them up if I tried. So
yeah, true. So this is going to definitely comfort some of the viewers who feel like it's a confirmation for them, like to know that even confident readers have their doubts, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's
thanks.
so true. And I'm glad you brought that point up, is because I would always say and be an advocate for, people say, well, I can't read tarot because I have to know everything. Well, okay, maybe, but how do you, if you were to look at something, how does it feel to you? What does it bring up in you, And also, not even to work with just one deck, because sometimes I'll look around and I'm like, okay, I need to pull from, and then I'll pull a totally different deck. I don't know why. I'm just drawn to that specific deck at that time for that specific person. So,
True.
Yeah.
They call out to you, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to be, stuck in a box. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
I feel the same feeling I have when I go to a store. Some things call out to you. You have to get it. Like, it's like you enter, it's for you.
Yeah, like a handbag and shoes.
Anything.
Yeah. Not anymore on those. I've got way too much.
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of them.
Right. So, yeah. So, what changed in your life after you embraced spirituality? Like, did your mindset change, or was there any relationship change or career change or anything big?
I think I would say what was important moving forward to having to do this kind of work, so to speak, is I would feel after I would do a reading how drained I was, like really drained. And people don't understand that you can say, oh, you only talk for 20 minutes, or you only talk for half hour, or only talk for an hour. That is an equivalent of like an 8-hour day or whatnot. I mean, it might not be that, but what I'm saying is it's mentally draining. And so, and I would do this before, is I always do a ritual, and a clearing and cleansing of my own body and my own space that's around me. When I would do readings at a store, I noticed one thing specifically is that the energy in stores are really high, like really high. And I'm not sure if it's the the stones that are in there, because stones have energy and there's a lot of going on. And when I would do those days, and it would be like maybe a 4-hour day there, so it's not a lot, but I would be like wiped out. I would literally have to go to the park and sit in the grass and just
reconnect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think
that's true. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, so everyone will not understand this, but you're right. Like even 5 minutes, you're exposed to something, you feel drained. That's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah, that's
absolutely true. And like underneath my desk, I have a grounding mat, so I have to wear bare feet. Truth be told, I got no socks or shoes on, so I have my feet on the desk. So yeah.
Yeah, but I really feel that what you're describing, I understand. That's a real one. Yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like when I do my clearing and cleansing, I do my chakras, right? Everybody goes chakra number 1, your root chakra, and you kind of go up. I don't. I go.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why. It's
that's
like
nice.
I will always be different. I will always be different. It's interesting because Anne Ortley, she is an amazing astrologer. She was one of my mentors, and she would say, well, you're never going to be like everybody else. You know that, right? And I'm like, okay, I feel like it, but why? She was, because your chart's upside down. You're a Libra rising. It's opposite of Aries, You're upside down. You have Saturn in Aquarius, and no, you're never going to be, like everybody else. I'm like, oh, great, thanks.
But that's what makes you unique and beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes it's good.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I just don't fit into that box, I guess. So that's okay.
Right.
I'm getting used to it. It's only been like 60-something years. But I'm all right. I'm okay.
Yeah. So what misconceptions do people have about tarot or any other spiritual work, according to you? Like, yeah.
Oh, that's a really great question. And I think you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know, it's interesting too. It's like sometimes when we do readings for other people and we're doing it really fast and it's on the fly, it's like, gosh, I really wonder if I should have said something totally different. You know what I mean? That's a thing that I go back because I'm a Libra rising. So I always kind of like, I want to make sure you get all the information. I want to make sure you got everything right. So things like that kind of bother me. So you don't have to be perfect. And then not everybody's gift is the same. And that is a big one. I mean,
True.
You know, your gifts are not like my gifts, and my gifts isn't like yours. You know, some people will have immediate downloads where there are people talking to them and they can communicate while they're talking, while spirit is talking to them. You know, I have had that happen, but I didn't know what that was, so I didn't go there, right? So will it happen again? Things like that have happened, you know, like with the young man. But it freaks you out because you're like, you know, you're like,
yeah,
thriller, you know. So like Teresa Caputo, she can take all that information and she can basically dictate what they're saying, which is a beautiful gift. There's other people that, like I've seen spirit, like I've seen literally ghosts, and that's kind of a trip. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Or there's like that knowing, you just know something's up.
Yeah, the cognizant, claircognizant. No, I'm not sure too. Like I know what types are there. I don't know the names.
Yeah, there's a lot of us in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, let's go to the fifth question. If someone watching today feels called, but they are scared, what would you tell them?
Ooh, I guess I would say like, why? Like, what is the fear? A lot of it has to do with not wanting to know what they probably already know, confirmation, or it could be a religious factor, which seems to be a lot. You know, I think it's starting to subside a little bit. People are a little bit more open. There's been a lot of great people that have been on television and on YouTube that have credibility that pretty much is undeniable. So I guess I would say, like, you know, what is the fear? What's the fear behind the fear?
Right. That's such an important advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely. So we'll go to the final segment. We'll do a quick rapid fire.
Okay.
What's the name of your first deck?
The name of my first deck is called the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. This one, which is funny because I had to find it. And it's funny because I don't really use this deck because it's a little different than my other ones. So, but yeah, like I was telling you before the show, I said I probably should start picking it up again and looking at it.
Yeah. It looks beautiful.
It's a great deck.
Yeah. And name one card that represents your journey, probably your spiritual journey.
I would say the High Priestess. Yeah, I mean, tapping into spirit and allowing it to come through and not being afraid of it. I would say so.
True. Yeah, you have that High Priestess energy.
Oh,
we can see that.
You're so sweet.
For some reason, my left eye is watering. I don't know what, any significance. From the time we started the
really,
interview.
that's funny because my left eye had I felt like a little thing was in it, and I thought, oh my gosh, I probably should get my eye dropped or something. That is so weird. No, actually, it was my right eye. So yeah, it was this eye. So, don't cry, Chirp. That's okay.
Yeah. So, what's one spiritual habit you would never skip?
Ooh, pre-clearing and cleansing my space and myself. Absolutely. Hands down.
Yeah. So do you also like post-cleanse, like after a session?
You know, it's funny. I will start doing that more so now. I always figured that that spirit had my back at the end. Like, okay, we're, you know, and I do ask that, you know, when the session is done, then the cords and everything are cut. And I usually will do that when I do a one-on-one session with somebody. But when we're doing it in a group, I would I think from now on, I will do a post cleansing as well. Yeah. Yeah. I just noticed a little bit of different things happening. So I think I'll just do that from now on. Yeah. But thanks. Yeah. It's a great question.
Yeah. Thanks. So what is one mistake, like common mistake that spiritual newbies make? Some common mistakes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can speak for everybody. It's a good question. I would still have to go with having the faith in yourself and to know that the information that you're getting needs to be expressed. And ask for clarity if you don't understand why. Like, I'm getting this. I'm not sure why I'm getting this, because sometimes what happens, and you probably can understand this, is that you'll get something and it's like it gnaws at you, even though you're thinking about something else and you're saying something else, but you have something else.
Yeah.
You're not saying that. I need you to share that. And then when you do, they're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about that this morning, So just trust yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, so I can't believe we are at the end of the interview. Yeah. But do you want to pull one card for the audience today? Like something that the community needs to hear right now, collective.
Sure. I'm going to pull from the Angel Wisdom Oracle deck. This is a beautiful deck. And let's just go ahead and see what our angels and spirits want us to know as a collective, right? What does our angels and spirit guides want us to know today, please? In this beautiful first day of spring. What do you want us to know, please? Let's see. Healing. It says, my body is deserving of love, comfort, and rest. The angels are telling you that despite being mentally and physically drained, you have the strength to overcome this. Keep moving forward, and the universe will shower you with love, healing, and energy soon. What a beautiful card.
Wow.
A lot of people needed that. And then today being the first day of spring, is just like that healing energy, like you had mentioned.
Spring cleaning. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that's the message.
That's amazing. Perfect card for today.
I love that. Yeah. Thanks for letting me share that.
Thank you.
I'm just
Thank you. Thank you for pulling a card for us, and it's just so perfect. So this has been such a calming and insightful conversation. Judy, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us openly today.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what really stayed with me today is how personal and unique each spiritual path can be, and how important it is to trust your own pace along the way, right? Like everyone is different, like you said.
Yes, exactly. So, just, express what you truly feel is real inside. And it's okay if you feel a little scared. And if you have to ask for clarification, that's okay. And you don't have to read a card or a deck or have a feeling that is like concrete. You could just look at a card and what does it make you feel? How do you see it in the way that the person that's in front of you or that you're reading for could benefit from? That's how I would. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. That's a very great advice for beginners. Very valid. Yeah. So if you are watching this and something in this conversation resonated with you, take it as a gentle nudge to stay curious and keep exploring. And please make sure to connect with Judy at Judyintheskies here on YouTube. Her channel is linked below in the description. If her energy resonated to you, I know you'll truly enjoy her work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As we close today's conversation, I also want to share a quick information about this Spiritual Newbie Talks, why I named it so. In my book, Pearls of My Mind, I explore what I call the 3 S's, the spiritual newbie, the seeker, and the sage. They are like lenses through which I show how we react and feel, as on your different levels of spiritual growth. So that's why like honoring of that spiritual newbie name, I named this because that newbie is the one who is very curious and the one who is still on the path of seeking.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, I named this show that. So if anyone is interested in the book, I've put the link in the description. So feel free to check that out.
That's
Judy,
awesome.
any parting? Thank you. Any parting words?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Chirp, for inviting me on your journey. This is a lovely podcast. I think a lot more people will start to tune in and feel confident and encouraged by the guests that you have, as well as you being the host of this podcast and reading with you as well. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you for coming. And yeah, everyone watching, thank you so much. Stay curious and grounded. Take care. Loads of love from both of us. Namaste.
I would say bye for now.
Bye-bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Newbie Talks. I'm Chirp, and I'm so happy that you all are here today. And this series is all about honest, grounded conversations with fellow spiritual practitioners. We'll talk about how their journeys began, the doubts they faced, and what they have learned along the way. So today I'm joined by a beautiful soul from a community whose energy and work I truly appreciate. It's such a joy to welcome Lulu to Chirp Cheer N Chai. Lulu, it's so lovely to have you here with us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
For coming. And before we dive into your journey, I would love for you to introduce yourself, like in your own words, and please share who you are, what you do on your YouTube channel, and what kind of spiritual work you feel drawn to right now.
Okay, so I'm Lulu, Messages from the Quiet Flame. I live on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. I do tarot readings, intuitive tarot readings. I do get a lot of messages and downloads, a lot of times in forms of song. And I do have mediumship abilities. I have a few of the clairs. I don't remember the names of them all, but I hear, I taste, I smell, and things are always developing, right? Seems like you're never quite done. I've always been very intuitive with people. I've always been like I can read people very easily. When you go into a group situation or a work situation, and intuitively you just feel these are the people that you want to gravitate toward, and the general women's intuition.
Yeah, that's right.
So I do want to expand my mediumship to get into doing mediumship readings, but I'm not ready to do that solely by itself yet. So, it takes time to develop.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's lovely. So do you want to share why you named your channel, The Quiet Flame?
The Quiet Flame. I started out for probably 6 or 8 months as Opal Empress Tarot.
Okay.
And I started out as Opal Empress because I'm a Libra, so my birthstone is Opal. Empress because I resonated quite closely to the Empress card. A lot of what she, beholds is basically how I've always just lived my life. And that's how it was. But then it started to feel wrong. It wasn't comfortable to say. It wasn't something that resonated with me after about 6 or 7 months. And I was bouncing names off Donna Marie, healing readings by Donna Marie. Brilliant. And bouncing names back and forth. And then all of a sudden I just got in my head, the Quiet Flame. And it was given to me by my guides. And it resonated. It made sense.
Yeah.
Because I do tend to live more of a quiet, like most spiritual people, right?
Yeah.
We're more of a quiet community. We can be rambunctious with our friends and people we're
Mhm.
comfortable with, but for the most
True.
part,
Yeah.
I feel like the flame is like the quietness of the soul, and it
Yes.
resonated really loudly as it came into my head. So I just was like, that's it. And I sent it to Donna, and she was like, that's really pretty. That's really nice. That feels
Yeah.
very welcoming and warm. So that's what I went with. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
a
love it.
beautiful story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
fascinating when you get answers like this. Like you think of something, you
Hmm.
get the answer. Like
Right?
that's it. Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, I know. Right. So, how did your spiritual journey begin? Like, was there a triggering event or curiosity, or some kind of calling? Was it just your calling, crisis, or calling, or whatever?
Um, oh my goodness. How much time do we have?
No, you can take your time. I don't mind if it exceeds.
Um, when I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
um, we're talking child,
Okay.
I had an unfathomable fear of the underneath of my bed, the
Mm-hmm.
closet, any dark corner. Um, Thinking back on it, I was too little to recognize it at the time. Um, but with people I have, like in the community that I've spoken with, it's quite common amongst us because we're sensing things that we can't see yet.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us can. Some of us can see that young. Um, and I lost a friend very, very young. I was 7 years old. And things sort of, that's when I started smelling things. He and his mom used to have garlic eating contests, how many cloves of garlic they could eat.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And I would often smell garlic for no reason and didn't think anything of it. Then I started to become a teenager and life became more about friends and I shut things down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my nan had a stroke when I was 16 to 17.
I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
flew to England.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mom came. I was already going to England. I was going there for the summer for vacation because that's where my entire family is, except for my parents. And they used to send me there to keep me out of trouble. So I thought it was great, but they just looked at it as she's not going to get into trouble with the rest of the hooligans she hangs out with. But my mom flew over about 3 days later because she couldn't get onto my flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sound asleep. It was the middle of the night. And I was sharing a bed with my mom because at the bungalow, my grandparents didn't have a lot of space. So she had come back from the hospital late. And I woke up about 2.5 hours after she got back. And I wasn't even awake. And
Okay.
I I shook her and told her that her mom would love her forever and that she was sorry, but she had to go. And she loved me too. And I led back down with my mom stupefied next to me.
Yeah.
And the phone rang in the hallway. And it woke me up. It was the
Mm-hmm.
hospital. So that was my first
Wow.
official, memorable visitation,
Yeah.
was my nan. And my nan had the gift, and so did my mom.
Okay.
Wasn't spoken about a lot,
Mm-hmm.
given the time, but then I suffered a lot of losses through my teens. And in 2013, I lost my mom.
Sorry.
And a few years later, I lost my brother. And 2 years ago, I lost my dad.
Oh.
So when I lost my mom, I shut everything down. When I lost my brother, I tried to open up. When I lost my dad, he didn't give me a choice. So
Yeah.
he came to me, and it was so incredibly real. And I just didn't shut back down after that, because I thought that's the only way I can talk to my mom and my dad and my brother.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay open and I'm going to pursue it. So that is what I did.
Oh,
So
yeah, you were very strong. All the prayers, and I'll keep you in prayers.
it's been
My
a
God,
journey. Been a
yeah,
journey, but
yeah, yeah,
that's also why my favorite card in the whole entire deck is the Tower, because I have had multiple extremely impactful Tower moments that, by people's admission, a lot of them wouldn't have risen from. And every time, brick by brick, I build back my life. And now I've built back this life. And I love this life. I think this is the best recreation that I have made so far. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Really, yeah. This. Thank you for being so vulnerable. Like, it's going to help the viewers today for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, oh, that was heavy. I'm sorry.
Be
Oh,
careful what
yeah.
you ask. You might get an answer.
I know. Yeah, I lost my dad in like 2015.
Yeah.
It was hard for everyone. Yeah, so I remember that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sucks.
yeah,
It sucks.
yeah.
But
Like there is the vacuum that never gets filled. Like it's there. That's it, right?
yeah.
Like you cannot unsee it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it. It's just there,
No.
right?
And
Yeah, I don't even.
they say time heals all wounds, and I
Yeah,
don't think, like, I understand the expression, but you don't ever heal from the
right.
loss of a parent or a sibling. You just don't. It's
True.
always there. It's always raw. Things can trigger you at any moment
Mhm.
years later. So exciting things happen, and it's like the first person you want to tell is your mom, and it's
Yes.
like, well, then you remind yourself, well, she already knows, because she's,
True. I agree 100%. I don't like
yeah,
go with that thing, the saying time heals, because it really doesn't heal. You just
yeah.
learn to go live with it.
You learn to live with it. Exactly. You adapt, like
Yeah.
Jackie says, because Jackie's here. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Gigi.
Hi, Jackie.
Yeah, you do. You just learn. You just learn to get on with it. Because if you don't, you just stay a crumbled tower, and that's not
Right.
living, and that's not what they want for you. So,
True. Very true. Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
And yeah. So, what was your biggest fear or doubt when you started? Like, first, when you started?
Oh my gosh. Being on camera.
I
I don't
resonate with
I
that.
I don't like my picture taken. I've avoided cameras for most of my life. You remember how, like, ancient Aboriginals used to believe that the camera would steal their soul? I swear I'm reincarnated from an like, as soon as cameras come out, I disappear so fast. And I just ended up on camera. And now it's feeling more comfortable.
Mhm.
And there's typical imposter syndrome, but I think all of us get that, from what I understand.
Yes.
All of us suffer. Like, is that ego, or is that really? And you just have those fears, right? I don't worry about what other people think of me. I think that's why I'm a happy person, because I just never have. I've always had, and that's from my mom. um not everyone is going to like you, and you're not going to like everyone. So you
True.
can cry about it, or you can just say, you're lost. And anyone who knows me knows that that is exactly, you know,
Mhm.
we're not everybody's cup of tea. Like, you can't be everybody's
Yes.
cup of tea. But the ones who do like you, they keep
Will
asking you to
stay.
refill their cup. So,
Yes, yes, that's so true.
yeah.
Yes, yes. I think, yeah, all of the people who are watching will definitely agree with this.
Yeah.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah. So the next question for you is, yeah, so what changed in your life after your spiritual, when you embraced spirituality? Like sometimes there'll be a mindset change, or maybe there'll be changes in relationships or even career, you know.
Okay. So, um, I don't know if my friend Meg is watching, but Meg and I have been friends since we were 11. I think in the time that we have known each other, she has seen me cry 5 times,
Mhm.
like in 40 years, right? Now, after opening up, I'm like emotional and girly sometimes. I'm like the oddest things. I get happy and I get teary, and it's like the weirdest, they're weird emotions for me. But
Mhm.
making my soul, you know, be more trusting in source and opening myself up, knowing I'm protected no matter what. Um, it's just made me more vulnerable,
Mhm.
right? More human emotion is shown. I have a European background, so you're kind of raised, if you're going to cry, cry in the shower. But
Yeah.
that is that has changed, and that is the most significant change for me.
Yes,
is
yes,
is
yeah,
that allowing others to see my emotions, which I never did before. So, and that's
yeah.
huge to me.
That's huge. This growth seems so powerful, because when you are that expressive, you are powerful. Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's powerful. According to you, what misconceptions do people have about tarot or any other spiritual work?
I think most most people think it's like woo-woo crazy stuff, or that we're devil worshippers, or that we like gather and dance under the moon in weird robes and chant like weirdos. We don't.
Yes,
Let's just set that straight.
right.
Most of us believe in higher power, God, Jesus, source, whatever your source is. And our sole goal is to help people. I think a lot of people have this misconception that it's some sort of dark witchcraft, that,
Yeah,
you know, if they get tangled up with us, we're going to hex them. It's like sometimes you're just like, "Oh, honey, I wouldn't waste the herbs." You know?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
true. Yeah.
you just it's misunderstood because there is centuries old um deprecating thought surrounding it, right? That you can't. I just had this conversation with my friend. She goes to church regularly, and she was telling her friend that I read tarot, and they told her that she needed to bring me to the church to be saved. And she said, well, she actually believes in God. And they said, well, she can't possibly, if she's doing tarot, that's work of the devil. And Bailey was like, well, I know she believes in God because her and I quite often talk about certain passages from the Bible, and I get her opinion, or something bothers me, I ask her. And she also made the mistake of mentioning the mediumship, and they said, oh, that's not possible. She's a devil worshiper. And my response was, well, Bailey, how many times has your pastor stood in front of the congregation and stated that Jesus talked to them? So by that theory, your pastor's a devil worshiper.
Yeah, right.
So those are the misconceptions that I find most often. And I
Yeah.
don't try to change people's mind. I am who I am. I do no harm to others. And all I try to do is help and go from there.
Yeah,
So,
it's so true. Yeah. Intention is the most important thing. Like anything, there is a negative, there is positive. So yeah, you go, you correct your intuition, I mean intention, and you're all good. That's true. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, because it's very common misconception, right? When you say tarot or anything like this, there is that, that thing break for them, like not stopping.
you're evil. It's like,
Yeah.
no, definitely I'm not sacrificing birds or rabbits.
True.
Like I love bunnies. I love birds.
Yeah. Right, that's so true. And if someone watching today feels called but they're scared to take this path or maybe explore, what would you tell them today?
Hang out in the community, like these channels. That's how I started. I started watching. I found a few readers that I really, really liked and and I just watched them before I started asking questions. Get yourself a tarot deck or an oracle deck if that's what you're comfortable with, and just start practicing and see if when you're doing it, you're hearing any messages come in your head that you might not have thought. That was my trigger, was expressions coming in or a song that I'd never heard in my life. A line of it coming in, but knowing it was a song. And
Yeah.
that's how I knew it wasn't coming from ego.
Yes.
So you just start. And all of us are more than willing to guide and send us questions if you have
Sure.
questions about learning about spirituality, right? So we're here for that.
Yeah, that's true. This community is really very warm and welcoming and inclusive and very kind. Yes.
It's very
I
loving.
agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So anybody watching wants to start, please go ahead, start. This is your sign.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just, it takes time too. So patience, right? You have to have patience with yourself because you may hear nothing. And then all of a sudden you might start hearing things, and it comes as a thought. It's not a literal, that's what I had to learn was, it's not always like literally you turn your head because there's a voice next to you. It's random things you wouldn't put together in a sentence.
True.
An expression that comes to you that is not common. You may have heard it somewhere at some point, somewhere in your life, but it's not in your regular vocab, but it pops up in a reading. And then it's amazing when people say, oh my gosh, my grandma used to say that all the time. And you're like,
that was her. Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Yeah. Do you have any interesting, like anything top of your head, like any story, like something happened that, you got this, these experiences? Do you have anything that you would like to share, like spiritual experiences?
Well, there was the thing with my nan. There's also weird little things too. Like after my dad died, we were selling his motorhome. He had a bus, and some people came to look at it. This is just uncanny. People came to look at it, and my other brother, my living brother, was there with his wife. And the people came at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were just still there. And it was a cloudy day. And my sister-in-law was getting exhausted of just hanging out. And she turned to me and she said, oh, how much longer is this going to be? And in my head, I heard when the sun breaks. So I looked at her and I said, it was a little windy and the clouds were moving. And I said to her, you know what? When the clouds clear the sun, they're going to make an offer. 2 minutes later, the sun comes out and my
Wow.
brother comes out of the motorhome and says, I need to talk to you. They've made an offer. Sister-in-law
That's
was
so
to me
lovely.
and she's like, what the hell?
That's
So those
so funny.
little
Yeah.
things, those little things happen. And I don't know how many times my intuition saved me when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, you know, like going out clubbing and dancing and
Yeah.
doing all those typical things, and just being invited to after parties. And it's like, sometimes it was like a super go. And then sometimes it was like, yeah, no, guys, we're not going there.
Mhm.
That wasn't a conscious decision. It was a subconscious decision where I was being protected.
Yes.
And that happens a lot. It happens even now. I live up island where I'm at, and we have the Malahat Highway, which is renowned around the world as one of the most dangerous highways. I'll make arrangements to be somewhere at a certain time, and then I'll get distracted and I won't leave, or I will leave really early for some reason. And then there was an accident. And I
Oh.
missed that accident because sometimes it's just because I forgot the tea I just made on the counter. So I stop at Tim Hortons and grab a tea. And that 5 minutes
Yeah.
makes the difference. You know, I take all of those as signs of being protected, right?
Yes,
So
that's
it
right.
happens a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. 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 Anything that happens for a reason. That's what I too believe in. Like, whether it's
Yeah.
good or bad, you know, you miss something, you don't get something, it's for your own good.
Yeah,
That's what I believe.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? I know. I always think if you believe in coincidences, you're missing out on life
Yeah.
because you're
That's
not
true.
seeing the bigger picture.
Yes.
Nothing is a
Yes.
coincidence. Everything is for a reason.
Very true. Yes, I agree. Yeah. So I can't believe we finished all the 5 questions. Now we'll go on to the rapid fire. It was very
Rapid
interesting.
fire.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, there's Mag. Mag just came in. Yeah.
Wow. Hi. So I'll ask you the first question. Name the first deck you owned.
Really?
You don't?
Okay.
Oh, you want me to ask something else?
No, because I actually think I know, even though I haven't found it.
Oh, okay.
I bought a
Yeah.
deck after my nanny passed, and it was an oracle deck, and it was mermaids and dolphins. And I have not seen that deck in 20 years, maybe longer. It's definitely in my house. I just
Okay.
don't know where it is.
Yeah, maybe you'll pick it up now, like after the interview.
I'll find it. I will find
Yeah.
it. It's in one of my storage boxes, and I will find it.
Sure. Yeah. That's nice. Mermaids. Yeah. Sounds fun. Yeah. The next question. Name one card that represents your journey. You already said the
Tower.
Empress, but let's say your spiritual journey. Which card would you pick?
It's Tower, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely the
Yeah,
Tower.
yeah.
Because every time my world fell apart, when I was rebuilding it, each time it was a little bit more spiritually based. So
Yes.
every time I had to rebuild, I had to lean a little bit more on my faith and spirit. So
yeah,
that's why I love it. I
that's
think the
true.
Tower's, for me, the most beautiful card in the deck.
It's beautiful. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, Tower, it means like something new is coming.
Yeah.
Kind of energy. Yeah.
I know. And people focus on, oh no, everything's going to fall apart. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's falling apart for a reason. It's falling apart because that was not meant for you, or because you need to leave that behind to build something more beautiful.
Yes.
So it's mindset.
Yeah, true. That's very true. So what's one spiritual habit you would never skip?
Palo Santo. I love Palo Santo. I use it quite frequently. One, because I absolutely love the smell of it. And but two, because it is cleansing, and it doesn't irritate me as much as sage does.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I would
If
never skip
somebody,
those rituals. Yeah.
sure, sorry. So I was going to ask, like, if somebody doesn't know what that is, would you like to quickly explain what that is? Is it a
Palo Santo is it's a purifying wood. So it's like it acts
okay
like sage.
sage?
Um but it is a lovely, nice, light wood smell, as opposed to, I find sage is okay, but I find it hard to breathe.
Strong?
It's
Yeah,
very strong.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas the wood is very it's nice, it's warm, it's sweet. Yeah. It's really
maybe
nice.
like the quiet flame. It's
Right?
fitting you.
That's right.
Yeah, right. So one, can you talk about one spiritual mistake that spiritual newbies often make?
Lack of faith in yourself. I think we all do that. I still struggle with that. Doubt, self-doubt. That's what it is, right? If you
Yeah,
doubt yourself, you can shut yourself down. Um, so try to stay open. Try to think, maybe it was your ego. So what? Maybe it wasn't. Just keep going. So,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a very lovely advice for anyone who's watching today. Um,
mhm.
since we have, I think we can take 2 more minutes. Is it okay with you? Like one
I'm
more?
fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
would like
Okay.
to end this show with you pulling one community today, right now. What they need to
Okay.
know now.
I'll start shuffling.
Yes.
All right. Does anybody in chat have a question
Let me see.
that they wonder about?
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Hmm.
1 minute.
So two popped out.
Okay.
Six of Pentacles and Three of Cups. So advancement and celebration. So it's spring. So when I see
Lovely.
advancement, good fortune, those types of things coming in the springtime,
Mhm.
spring is a time to blossom, not just for the trees, for the flowers, for the baby animals that are coming, but it's also time for us to get back out of that winter doldrum, right? And get back out
Yeah.
there and starting to enjoy things and participate in life and do things like hang out with our community and our friends and just celebrate life. So that's what I get when I get these in the spring. And the fact that they came out together is pretty nice.
Yes,
So
and
that would be my message.
it's beautiful. Yeah, like it's a
Yeah.
beautiful mini reading for today. Yeah, it's a very nice
Yeah.
way to end. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I can't believe we finished the interview. It was very quick. I really enjoyed, and I loved how you shared everything so so raw, and nothing extra, like what's there, you just shared yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this has been such a gentle and meaningful conversation. Lulu, thank you for sharing your journey and your perspectives with so much openness. And what I really appreciated today is like the reminder that spirituality doesn't have to be a certain way. It's something we each discover in our own time, in our own way. Like there's
Yeah.
no race. Like you are going to reach the destination anyway. Yeah,
Right.
right. That yeah, everyone is different and we have our own journeys. So if you're watching today and like you liked anything about the conversation, um, please connect with Lulu. Her channel is linked below, and I'm very sure you're going to love her, videos. And uh, yeah, Lulu, do you have anything else, like the parting words that you want to say something today?
Well, First of all, if for anybody that's interested, I'm on with Scott Scorpio Sun in a couple of hours, 2 hours. You can find that through my channel. And just don't let other people deter you from what feels right to you. That's pretty much it. If you find something that makes your heart sing, whether it's painting cards or reading, or painting cards or reading tarot, right? What makes your life worth living, do it. Don't let other people get in your head, because they have their journey and you have yours. And your responsibility is to live the journey that makes your heart sing. And that's it.
That's a beautiful advice. Thank you for sharing. So until time, stay curious, stay grounded, and take care. Loads of love and light from both of us. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thanks for having me on.
Sure. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Newbie Talks. I'm Chirp, and I'm so happy you are here today. This series is about honest, grounded conversations with fellow spiritual practitioners. We'll have a conversation about how their journeys began, the doubts they faced, and what they have learned along the way. So today I'm joined by a beautiful soul from our community whose energy and work I truly appreciate. It's such a joy to welcome Judy to Chirp Cheer N Chai. Welcome, Judy.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really honored to be a part of your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and you are absolutely delightful. So I enjoy any time I get to spend with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's my honor to have you on the channel. So, Judy, it's lovely to have you here. Before we dive into your journey, I would love for you to introduce yourself in your own words. Like, please share who you are, what you do on your YouTube channel, and what kind of spiritual work you feel most drawn to at this moment.
Okay, well, thank you. My name is Judy. My channel is called JudiesHealingFire, and we continue to evolve. Actually, I started out primarily doing politics and doing just videos. And then it evolved into now I primarily do live shows and we'll throw in a video here and there. I've been working on a video today. I've already put like 4 hours of research into it. So I have more to go, but that's part of why I do a lot of lives. The videos that I do typically take a lot of research time, and I just don't have time to do a lot of them because I also work a full-time job. But I do also private readings for people as well. And I am an eclectic soul. I'm a Reiki master. I read tarot. I have dowsing rods. I work with crystals. I read crystals much like people read tarot as well when I put it into a grid, if I'm tapping into energy. I connect intuitively. I'll channel occasionally from my guides, or just messages will come through, and I'm a little bit of everything. So
that's so lovely. And do you have a story about why you named your channel Judy's Healing Fire?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fantastic one, but yes. So before I really, having a YouTube channel was not on my bingo card at all. This was my guide's idea, not necessarily my idea. I was like, you want me on that? Like, I am not a techie person. I'm, that's just like really, I was confused. Like, why would you want me to do that? That's, and so I just kind of blew it off for a long time. And then like when I started kind of going, well, we'll see, because my guides kept bugging me. And so I created a private group on Facebook of people and said, this is a community I'm thinking about connecting, and those of you interested, feel free to join the group. And a small number of people did, and we talked about a lot of things. It was kind of a safe space for everybody to talk politics and what was going on and stuff. And then I was looking for a name, and I was trying to come up with some things. And I'm Aries, and I'm, redhead Celtic Aries, basically, and all of that screams fire. So there's that. And I knew I wanted a healing element to it because I'm a Reiki master. And I kind of felt like if I was going to do something, it's not just about keeping people informed about what's going on in the world, but I really felt like people needed a community more than anything. And there needed to be some element of, okay, this is going on, but these are some things we can do, or be aware of it. And then, if you need to step back. But I also, I would throw in different healing elements or spiritual elements every once in a while. Like last summer, I went to the beach and I took all my crystals. Well, not all my crystals. I have a crystal problem. A lot of my crystals with me, and cleansed them in the ocean and showed people how to do that. And talked about charging them in the moon and or cleansing them. And I talk about different spiritual holidays, and I talk about, there's a lot of, there's healing elements mattered into all of this. And so I wanted it a part of it, basically, is the short answer to a long explanation. And, I kept trying, I couldn't quite figure out a name. And I was looking, I was throwing in like AI and, what are some names? And finally, a friend of mine who also has a YouTube channel, and he actually is the one that said, well, how about this one? He said, this one or that one? And then I threw out a couple of others, and he's like, I really think you need Healing Fire. It was actually his idea. I really think you need Healing Fire. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe, It ended up.
No, it's a beautiful. Yeah, it's a nice name.
Finally, just settled on it and ran with it and went. So that was a really long answer, but yeah, that's how.
No, that's okay. No, it was nice. Like, but your name, the channel name is really lovely. I loved it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, how did your spiritual journey begin? Like, was there a triggering event or some kind of curiosity or crisis, or was it your calling?
Excuse me. Sorry for coughing, by the way. I'm getting over being sick, everybody. So apologies for that. Well, again, that's a long answer.
That's okay.
I think I've always felt connected, but I didn't know how or why or what that meant. Let's put it that way. I've always had a connection to crystals, but that came about. I started learning about them at a really young age, but not from an energetic standpoint. I learned about them from a, like, this is called this is called that. My grandparents were rock hounds, and we would go rock hounding, and my grandfather would facet gems and make jewelry and things like that. And we used to go rock hounding, and I would sit and watch him facet gems. And in his office that he would do work in, he had this display table that every time he went over, there was a different collection of gems in there, which, we call crystals, but they're gemstones. And so that's when I started learning, oh, this is amethyst, this is a rose quartz, this is a sunstone, this is, I started learning what these were. And then as a child, I started collecting crystals or gemstones that I knew them by then. And every once in a while, I had this little fishbowl, and I would just add to my collection. I had this whole fishbowl that sat on my desk of gemstones. And so every once in a while, I would take that fishbowl and I would pour it out on the floor, and I would just run my hands through it. And I was doing what I didn't realize I was doing is I was feeling the energy. And because it felt really cool and clean and clear to me, and it just they made me feel better. And so I thought it was just, you know, something nice to do. I didn't realize what exactly was happening, but that's what was going on. And then I've always been empathic, but I didn't recognize that as a thing either. I thought everybody was. I didn't realize that it was that I was odd. So I thought, like, you know, if you talk to me, like, I generally knew what you meant to say, whether or not you said it. And I thought that like everybody could do that. And so that didn't occur to me until way, way later in life. I thought that was just a thing that everybody did. And then I remember trying actively, like I had, even as a child, would try actively to connect to spirit, and never really felt like I had much luck, but I always felt like I should be able to. And I was not one of those that was just, you know, oh, I could talk to spirit when I was 2 and it went away. You know, no, that wasn't that wasn't me.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in my early 20s, and I think I was watching Oprah, actually, and I was watching Sylvia Brown was on her show, and she was like, oh, this is, if you want to connect to your angels and guides, this is what you do. And she outlined this kind of meditative practice. I'm like, oh, cool. And I started doing that. And you know, I never really, like, there was one vision I got, which I still am trying to figure out. And but most of all, like, I really didn't get much. But occasionally there were definitely points in my life where I got clear messages that were unmistakable, you know, like things that would warn me against things or whatever. And I had those. I think everybody gets those to a degree. But it wasn't until I had a neighbor that was, she had a lot of physical ailments, and she was in a lot of pain. And I went home after spending some time with her. We were neighbors. So I went home after spending some time with her, and I kind of went into my little meditative state that I do. And I said, is there anything I can do to help her? And then I got a full download of, this is what you do. This is how you place your hands. This is what, this is what you think about it. Like, they gave me the full thing. And at that point, I was like, I came out of that and I was like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I went over to her house, and she's in a lot of pain. And I go, hey, do you mind if I try something? She's like, sure. And so I did. And I go, so how do you feel? And she's like, She goes, well, I feel better. And I said, oh, well, that's good. I said, okay, thanks, and I think that was that.
Yeah.
It was kind of in the early days of Facebook. And at that time, I had a friend in India, and I was telling him about it. I said, yeah, check this out. This just happened. And he goes, you just did Reiki, basically. And I said, yeah, I don't know what that is. And it's like, you should check into that. If that actually was effective and you haven't been attuned to anything, he goes, you should really check into that. And I go, that's not a thing. Nobody around here does that. He's like, they do it everywhere. And I'm like, nuh-uh. And he's like, you really need to check into that. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I did. Sure enough, I've been living under a rock my entire life. I just never heard of it. And of course, it's everywhere. And so I'm like, okay. Well, then all of a sudden, it was like my soul was remembering things to do. And I started waking up early in the morning, and I would go downstairs into my living room and started doing these healings on people that I heard about, or what, that needed help. And they were effective, apparently. And then, and I'll just, for the sake of time, I'll spare you detailed stories. I've gone into, in other shows, but it was working. But what I didn't know how to do was to protect myself. And I learned some valuable lessons of what not to do also. And then, but that was still distance healing. I still didn't really know how to do hands-on. And so then I got attuned to Reiki. My Reiki master at the time was like, you're backwards. You're doing the advanced stuff and you don't know how to do the basic stuff. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I got nothing. And so she attuned me. And then after that, I started I spent some time practicing and stuff. And then I started my own practice. And that's when I really started, I don't know why, like all of a sudden I started learning about all these things, like all the different herbs you can burn that I would burn during healings, and different, candles, and different, the way I started using my crystals, like all it is, like I was remembering all this stuff is what the best I can say about it. And I really had and I still do have a very eclectic way of doing things. I had a little bit of Native American practice. I had some very ancient Celtic practice. I had Reiki practice. I had, like all this different little smattering of different things that I would do. I just called it Reiki because I'm a Reiki master, and it was the easiest thing to explain to people, even though people have no idea what it is a lot of times. And but really, it involved a lot of different things, and that's when I started. When I figured out I could read crystals, like I can read tarot cards, was during that time. And that I didn't think was a big deal either, until I realized that nobody else really does it like that. And so I think that's a Judy thing too.
But like I'm an
anomaly weirdness, so I don't know.
No, that's a lovely thing. But I have a question. Like, how do you read crystals? Like, I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, I know, I'm weird.
No, it's interesting.
I would say it's much like tarot cards are just another way to connect with spirit. So are crystals. And that's basically, it's just another way for me to communicate with spirit. So when I first, like, if I do a reading for someone, the first thing I'll do is I'll tap into you, and they show me a picture of where like your major blocks are. And so I kind of get a sense of that. And then I kind of step out of it in a way, and I step into this other zone of I'll get a crystal grid, like, just traditional crystal grid, and I lay it down, and I've got my bowl of crystals. Just like some of the basic ones really that are in there. And intuitively, they'll tell me where to put what crystals and in what configuration, and which ones want to go next to each other, and which ones want to be, diametrically opposed to each other, and if they want to run through another energy or not, And then once I'm all done, I'll step back and look at it. And then when I'm looking at it, it's telling a story. So it's and very often that story is what the pattern of your energy has been, and what it needs to be, and what we need to do about it. So sometimes, like, abuse will show up. For example, like your energy reads as though you're having to protect yourself way too much. Like there's something going on, right? And I might, at the same time, I might get intuitive hits. And so that's when I might ask a question like, how are things going at home? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, but it tells a story when I look at them together, the way that they present themselves. And also like the size of the crystal sometimes. Sometimes it's like, you need a rose quartz, boom.
Wow.
We just need a little spattering of rose quartz, so it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, It's very similar. To me, it's very similar to tarot, but also when I read tarot, I might do a card spread, which I understand the general principle of, but I don't start to get the words for it until I start to read the card. And it's very much the same to me. So, which is interesting.
That's interesting. Very fascinating, actually. I've heard of like crystal readings, not readings. I'm sorry, crystal healing. They place for certain
Yeah,
energy healing, right? But
right.
reading this is the first time. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, I
Thank you for
started
sharing.
doing that with my healing practice,
Hmm.
where I started to like, okay, I wanted to know or get a sense, and I don't even know how I came up with this. It's got to be my guides. That's all I can think of.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
um, like I started thinking, I want to know what's going on before the person walks in the room, beyond just a guide conversation. I want to get an kind of an energy tap in, and I started
Hmm.
doing it, and I never told anybody what I was doing, but it gave me a heads up, and it was never wrong either. That was the other thing, is I'm like, okay, these are the crystals that are talking to me for this healing session, and then I kept them on that grid for the whole healing session in however they presented themselves. But what I
Hmm.
started to figure out was the what that was doing was telling a story. And then after the healing, of course, I knew the story, and the crystals were right. So it was like, that's when I
Wow,
started doing it. But then I noticed the pattern that went with it and realized that it was its own language. And it just kind of went from there.
that's fascinating. Yeah, really. Nice.
But it's
So,
not, I don't cast crystals. People will like,
yeah.
they'll cast them like on a, I'd love to learn how to do that. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm more like
Uh-huh.
intuitively, I'm being told to put them in a specific spot, and then that's what tells me the story.
So, what I'm thinking, what I'm understanding from this is probably, is it like you are like reading the person's energy, and maybe there's a remedy given to you, like if they need some healing in that area, that remedy appears here, something like that?
I get that information when I first tap into their energy. So that I can do, like I can tap into somebody's energy and I can say, okay, you're blocked in this area or that area. And I'll do that when I'm reading tarot too. A lot of times, even
Uh-huh.
on the you see me on shows, if we do just a 3-card pull or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that, I'll say what I'm picking up is, and when I say that, it's because I'm literally tapping into your energy, and I see that your heart chakra is tender, or you have we need some work done in our solar plexus, or something like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes that'll really just shout out, and so I'll make mention of that, and then do the card pulls. So that's different than the crystal grid. It's really
Yeah.
so. For example, let's see, I don't even know. I'll have different crystals that at each point,
Intersections. Yeah.
yeah, that'll present themselves. And so like if I got something that would be boy, obsidian wanted to be right in the middle,
Hmm.
and then tiger's eye and citrine or carnelian wanted to completely surround it, or onyx wanted to surround it, I'd be like, what's going on, and why are you having to protect your energy so bad? Like what's the big bad?
Oh,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
Versus somebody that's like, okay, your solar plexus is hurting, and maybe a piece of calcite is in the middle, and then it's got some rose quartz around it or something like that. It's like, okay, you need some self-love. That's what's going on. So it's more that kind of a thing.
right. Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I'm fascinated actually. Thank you. Um, so, what was your biggest fear or doubt when you started?
um I don't know that I have a fear or a doubt
Okay.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully aware that people think I'm completely bananas, and that's okay.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's actually to. It's a great place to be in.
I
Lovely.
I share selectively, like what I do. I don't even talk about
Yeah.
it fully with my family, because
Mm-hmm.
they're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I remember when I started after I started my practice, my healing practice, I didn't even tell people about that, but I knew that if I was going to try to get a practice that grew, I had to tell people. So I had to be willing to try to explain this and explain to people what I do. And I just had to like embrace it and go with it. And pardon my dog that's barking. Neighbors probably walking by.
No problem.
Anyway, so I remember saying to somebody, "Oh yeah, I'm out of the closet now." Well, I have a lot of gay friends, and they're like, "You are?" Oh wait, no, not that way. I meant with my energy work, and they're like, "Oh." I'm like, I guess I got to be careful how I say that, but it's being willing to tell people, and even still, it's like I tell those that I think may be receptive to it, but I live heartily in both worlds. Let's put it that way. I can totally function in the everyday world, and I can function in the spiritual world as well. And I move back and forth constantly because I'm in sales. I have to, people that I sell things to for my work that actually pays the bills. Most of them think this is completely bananas. So.
True. Yeah, I understand that because I am like that too. I don't share too with everyone. Only very few people know, that I do. Even now, I think maybe one or two, that's it. I have not yet come out of that. So I understand that.
Well, it's like, if it's not going to do me any good, why? Right.
Yes.
So,
true.
Whatever, if it's going to be, if they'll find peace from it. Now somebody at work did say, when Yule came around, like Christmas and Yule and all that, I was at work, and one of our really, really good clients said something about Yule, and then she goes, "But nobody here knows what Yule is." And I said, "I know what Yule is, and I celebrate it." And she goes, "You do?" I said, "Yes." And so she secretly watches my YouTube channel now. She's like, I watch you like one day a week when I get to relax and I catch up on your shows. She goes, "I secretly watch all your shows." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Cool. She'll never comment. She's never on a chat. Like, she just secretly watches my shows.
Yeah. Anyway, that's cool. Yeah. Lovely. So my next question is, what changed in your life after you embraced spirituality fully? Like, sometimes there's a mindset change, or sometimes relationships change, or there's a career change. Yeah. Anything changed?
Excuse me. Well, I'd say I probably got more authentic to my true self, which that in itself causes a whole bunch of energy shift, which means that you have a lot of tower moments in your life.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. I really dove deep into it once things started opening up, and I started trying to learn everything I could and trying to remember whatever I could as well. And I was still married at the time, let's put it that way. But it was just a big learning process, because I really gained a sense of who I am, and where I didn't have boundaries previously, but I needed to have boundaries if I was going to do energy work. And so, well, if you have to have that boundary, then you need to apply that everywhere. And so there was a lot that it bled into my personal life quite a bit that wasn't prepared for this. And but all in all, it was a good thing, I think, because it's like I said, it's brought me closer to who I am and what my soul intention is in this lifetime. I've learned a lot of lessons. I've learned how to have boundaries. I really had none before, but now I do. regrettably, there was learning the practice of having boundaries is never an easy one. Let me just put it that way.
Yes, yes, that's true. Yes, very true. Yeah.
Especially when you've never had them up until that point.
Yeah, boundaries is like learning boundaries is like it's an art. You
That's
really
a good
need
way to put it. It is an art.
yeah.
It is an art. But you can't like, that was something that, I mean, I was great at like filtering it because I started opening up my intuitive gifts at that time, and like all of it was happening, right? And so when information was coming through and I'm telling people, you know, teaching them, literally teaching other people, this is how you manage your energy and this is how you set boundaries. This is how, and I was teaching other people how to do this. My guides are like, hello. Hello. And yeah. So that was a painful few years, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But you know,
Right.
you have to, and especially if you're doing energy work, you have to have boundaries.
Yes.
Or it's very dangerous if you don't. And I would say even not doing energy work, living life, if you don't have boundaries, is also dangerous. What I didn't realize was the danger I was putting myself in before. And now it's like, oh yeah, these things correlate quite a bit. Okay.
Right. Yeah. That's like your journey feels really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, it is
My
an art.
next
I like how you put that. It is an art.
right. It's an art. Yeah. You mastered it over time. Yeah, I agree.
And I would not say I'm anywhere near mastered. Let me put it that way. I am still very much a toddler in this world.
Yeah. If we see that
So
way, like we are just
we're ever done
students.
learning.
Yes, everyone. Yeah. That's right. Um, so, what misconceptions, according to you, do people have about, let's say, tarot or any spiritual work?
Well, everybody has their own belief system, so and they're entitled to that. You know, I have my thoughts and beliefs based on my own experiences, but so do other people. So I don't want to tell other people they're wrong, you know, because they have, that's like somebody saying I'm wrong, and I have my beliefs from my own experiences, and you know, whether or not somebody believes it or not. I personally, you know, it was interesting because I know a lot of spiritual minded people, they're, you know, that there's still a lot of rules that, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do this. That's not my personal belief system. That's no different than being a part of any other religion at that point, if you're going to impose a whole bunch of rules on me. And so I consider myself a spiritualist. And I have practices that I do that really, like I said before, they don't ascribe to one single thing. I have elements of ancient pagan. I have elements of Native American. I have elements of Reiki. I have elements of things that I don't even know what it is or how I know it. I am, you know, so I'm such a hodgepodge bag of whatever that I just in my gut don't feel like there's one single way to do anything. I think they're all tools for us to utilize to and our mind is our only limit, because the universe and the energy of the universe is vast and unlimited. The only thing that limits us is our own mind. So you know, we can do what we want, as long as, I would say, you know how to protect yourself. So I would say you should learn how to protect yourself before you start diving into work. I've got really good stories if you doubt me. That's what I did. I just jumped in. I'm like my typical Aries self and just jumped in and got in trouble. So don't do what I did. Because I fully have done like exorcisms and the whole thing. So I've dabbled in things that I wasn't fully prepared for. So let me
Yeah.
so make sure you do your homework as far as how to protect yourself. Other than that, I don't feel like there are really any rules per se, or that you have
Yes.
to follow it, or you have to do this, or you have to do that, or only on this day, or only on this moon cycle, or only with this crystal, or that flower, or whatever. I feel like you should follow your intuition, and if your guides are guiding you to something, there's probably a reason for it, and go with it as long as you protect yourself and you're not doing harm. Then go for it.
Very true. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yes. Like the answer you told me, something came into my mind right now. It's like you come here, you take birth, you're in this earth, and then you have a buffet. You just choose whatever you
Oh, I
want.
love that. That's great. It's exactly what
Yeah,
it is. A buffet of energy options.
right.
I
And then
love
no
that.
one is similar to the other. Like everyone has their own plate.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. Yeah, and what you're going to speak to whatever speaks to you. I mean, some people are drawn
Yes.
to, for a variety of reasons, drawn to, candles, or they're drawn to flowers, or they're drawn to tarot cards or oracle cards or crystals. Some people like me are drawn to all of it, and cool. Whatever you're drawn to, that's where you should be, and as long as you're enjoying it and you're doing good with the energy, then I
Yes.
don't, then how can it be wrong, right? So
Right. That's true. So true. Thank you for that answer. I'm sure today somebody is going to benefit from that.
yeah.
Lovely. So the next question is, if someone watching today feels called, but they're too scared to start any kind of spiritual work, what do you want to tell them?
I'd probably ask questions instead of telling them things. I'd be like, why are they scared? Generally, fear comes from fear of judgment. So is it fear of doing the wrong thing, or is it fear of judgment, or is it fear of betraying their, historical religious values, or, what is the fear? And then, because depends on what they're afraid of as to what the answer or guidance would be. But also, nobody needs to know what you're doing. This is between you and spirit. If you want to research what are the best flowers to have in your home for a higher vibration, why is that a bad thing? If you want to, now, if your fear is, religious based, and, doing tarot is evil, I would say you can tackle that one by actually researching the whole history of tarot and the meanings of the cards and all the symbolism involved and everything. It is a deeply religious, spiritual practice, actually. But, or is the fear based on, everybody told you were going to go to hell? And that's up to you. If you really do fear that, then, do where your conscious guides you. I don't personally believe in that. So I'm not worried about it, but that's me. That's not, I had to overcome that. I'm a recovering Catholic, so I had to overcome that myself. But it just depends on what your fear is. Are you fear of messing something up? I would say the only thing you can mess up really is if you don't know how to properly protect yourself. Other than that, there's really not much you can mess up, because it's about intention. So is your intention to feel love and peace, or to send love and peace out into the world? Great. You're not going to mess that up. You can't.
True. Very true. Yes.
If you want to dabble in dark energies with that, I would say you better know what you're doing before you start, going up against the big bads, because they don't play around. So just depends on what the fear is for and what you're wanting to do.
That's a very important answer. Yes. Yeah, you your
And that's
intention
what I
is something
said.
that,
I solemnly
yeah,
swear I'm up to no good.
that's so sweet. Yeah, so yeah, intention matters. Yeah, like you said, yeah, intention. If you're doing, your intention is good, it's going to be good. Everything is going to be good. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't believe we finished up questions. Now let's jump into a quick rapid fire round.
Sure.
Name the yeah, name the first deck you owned. Do you remember the first deck?
No. Let's see.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, I had,
Maybe just
so I got, actually, hold on 1 second.
okay.
Sort of. I didn't really know what I was doing when I first started kind of dabbling. And so what I didn't understand at the time is I was getting oracle decks, not tarot decks. I didn't know the difference between the two at first. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what people are reading and I don't get this. And I don't and then I got this Native American deck,
Wow.
which is it's I would still classify it as an oracle deck,
Mm-hmm.
except because it doesn't follow traditional tarot, but they have
Okay.
specific spreads and with meanings for the spreads. But I would still probably classify it as an oracle deck,
Oracle.
even though it's tarot-ish, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Native American based. So as far as like traditional, hold on here.
Okay.
I've got so many decks. As far as traditional deck, it's still my absolute favorite. Actually, is Gilded Tarot Royale, and
That
I
looks
use it.
very nice. Yeah.
It is. I still use it every day. I use it most of the time when you see me on videos. This is usually the deck I'm using. It's still my favorite deck. So
Lovely.
that's what I use.
Yeah. So, name one card that represents your journey, maybe spiritual journey.
Right. Well, I love queen cards.
Lovely.
But the more I learn about queen cards, the more I love them too, which is interesting. So for me, it's Queen of Wands, because she's fire.
Yeah.
Queens are nurturers, and they take care of themselves and they take care of everybody around them, and they're going to create their beautiful world. But they're more internal energy, where kings are external energy. But the wand is also, and fire is also active and very intentional energy. Even though, if you have a queen of wands, she may be internal, but if she needs to use her wand, she's going to use her wand, and she's going to create the world she wants, and she'll use her fire to do it. So I feel like that's who I want to be when I grow up. Let's put it that way. That's who I'd love to be is that. But who am I really? That is a great question. It's funny. I pinpointed it at one point, and then I rapidly forgot it. I did this a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh, that's probably more who I am. In a lot of ways, I'm the fool.
Yeah. I love that card. Yeah.
And I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do it anyway. This channel is a great example. Like, I finally got so tired of my guides bugging me. I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I just started one day. I still have no idea what I'm doing. And that's how I've gone through a lot of my life, which has gotten me in a lot of trouble also. But I'm just like, fine, I'll just do it. And I'm like, I'm just this fool that's going forth into the world. I have no idea what I'm doing. That's probably most representative of me, is that. but inside,
Lovely.
I really want to be the Queen of Wands.
Yeah, you are. You have the queen energy. I can feel that.
But really, I miss the
And
pool.
you are a mixture, like you said, the queen energy and also the childlike enthusiasm. So you are fool and this both. You're right.
Yeah.
Great. So can you tell one spiritual habit that you would never skip?
If I or when I am doing a healing or connecting in on that plane, excuse me. I have a process that I started before I got attuned to Reiki, and I still do it today. And I think this is one of those things that I remembered, and I don't know why I do it, but I do it, and I do it every time. And it's a way that I direct my energy around me. So I'll spare you that part, but I asked to connect to my higher self, my guardian angels, and my guides, and I asked that they connect to the whoever I'm working with, their higher self, their guardian angels, and their guides. I asked that they connect and communicate for that person's highest and greatest good, and then I call in the four major archangels, and then I call in whoever I feel I should call in. Other beings of light or ascended masters. I'll call them in. And then I also invite in any beings of light that wish to be present for this healing or this reading or whatever that wishes to be present for this. They're welcome to come in as well. I also firmly established that there is no dark or negative energy allowed in this space or in this healing or in this reading or whatever it is I'm doing. Only light energy is allowed in this space, period, end of story, and then I go forth from there, depending on whether I'm doing a healing or a reading or whatever will depend on what I'm doing from there. But basically I connect energies. I make sure it's for the highest and greatest good of the client, and I call in any beings of light that wish to be present for that purpose. So that's how I do that.
So I have a question. So at the end of the session, you also thank them and ask them to leave the energy field, or you just thank? Or
It depends on what I'm doing, honestly. When I had my Reiki practice, I actually had 2 rooms. It was the perfect setup. I loved that setup. I had an office, and then I had a healing room. That healing room was incredibly sealed off. I used some serious sacred geometry and Reiki and my own intentions, and that room was sealed as sealed could get. Anything that was in that room was going to be a being of light, and if I released anything negative, it was swiftly taken away. That was, and I had it set up for a reason that way, for obvious reasons. But if they wanted to hang around, I invite any beings of light. If you want to hang around, you're welcome to hang around. You're free to go if you choose. I don't send them back.
Okay.
They know better than I do. If you want to hang around me, that's cool. You're a being of light. The more the merrier. So you're welcome to stay if you like. But generally for a healing, I end by sealing off the person's energy, and I actually surround them in gold, and I tie a ribbon, and I tie like this gold bag, for lack of a better word, energy field around them. And I seal it with Reiki energy, and I ask that it continues to heal for as long as needed or necessary. And so I seal them in that energy and just allow the energy to continue to heal. And then thank you for being present. If you choose to stay, you are welcome. If you'd like to go, you're welcome to go, basically.
That's lovely. The reason I asked is I have also done Reiki. I only same thing, I don't tell everyone, I don't practice it, but only few of my friends know that I do it. So they ask me when they need. I do distance Reiki. That's the only thing I do. So most of the times I feel if I don't cut off at the end and ask, to clear the field. I feel like there's something stuck even in my energy sometimes. You know, I just feel like there is some connection. If I'm doing Reiki for my friend, then
Yeah.
if the friend is feeling anxious, that energy is lingering here. If I don't cut that off or something, you know, I don't know if it's my thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm working to remove that energy entirely. So, and I have Archangel Michael would be the one I would call on. That would be like, you need to take this and you know, get rid of it. And I don't tell him how to do his job. I'm like, this needs to go. Take this. I release it to you to do what you will, and it's gotta go. So that I guess that's part of it. Is I don't tell them how to do their job. What I'm feeling for is energy flow. So if I'm doing, like, when I do a reading, if somebody books a reading with me, I'll tap into their energy. I'll feel where they're blocked. I'll do the crystal grid, and I go over that with people. I do the card spread. I do the dowsing rods. They can ask yes, no questions. And then when we're all done, I do a clearing, which is different than a healing. But basically a clearing, I'm just trying to get the water flowing. I take out the rocks and the sticks from the stream, just trying to get the water flowing. That's all I'm trying to do. If I'm doing a healing, I'm sealing off whatever room I'm doing it in. I'm doing sacred geometry. I'm doing full Reiki. I'm calling in all the archangels. I'm calling in all beings of light. I'm calling in ascended masters, and I'm doing and as I'm talking about this, my hands start tingling, and I'm doing a you know, a full healing, but from distance, on each section, like I would do if I was there in person, as well as trying to get that flow. And that's a much longer process and a much different process. Just doing a general clearing after a reading, which takes like 15 minutes. If you do a healing with me, it could take 2 hours, so that's a whole different thing. But as far as, do I feel like it gets muddled or the energy stays connected? I don't let it stay connected. But if you ever feel like something lingering on, then just say, thank you very much, but time to go. Yeah. But also, the way I do it, I'm pretty well protected. I've dealt with too many big bads that I don't play that game.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you. So another question is, we already talked about it, maybe. No. Yeah. What spiritual, for any, for spiritual newbies, what do you think one common mistake they make?
I think they listen to too many people instead of trusting their gut.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that will tell you things. I mean, I've been sitting here telling you things for the last hour. There's a lot of people that will tell you things, but really it's your connection with your guides. That's what matters for whatever your journey is. Everybody has a different journey. And I just don't believe that there is you have to do this, you have to do that, outside of the caveat, make sure your energy is protected and you're safe. That's the only rule. All the rest of it, learn at your own pace and do what you feel called to. And if it doesn't bring you love and light and joy, then don't do it. I mean, it's not, there really is no have to, and just from my perspective. I know people disagree with that, but from my perspective. So, if you start, you're just like, I don't know where to start, connect in with your guides. I would say your guides are looking to connect with you as much as you want to connect with them. They just don't know how to talk to you. So it's a different language. And experiment with different things. So, for example, mine still show me pictures, because that's how I started, was show me pictures, I started with literally show me a red light, green light, red light, no, green light, yes, And then they started showing me flowers, or they started showing me pictures or things like that, you know, and they'll still show me pictures of things. That's primarily how we communicate, is they'll show me scenes or pictures and I have to interpret it. But it works for us, right? Or other people, that might not be how you hear your guides. Some people do automatic writing. Some people go into meditation and then they get information. Other people, you know, it just depends on what your communication is with your guides, but practice different things to see what works for you and then develop it from there, because it'll grow and develop with practice. But also offer suggestions to them. So when I first started working with my guides, they were giving me like migraines, and I had to go, okay, this is not working. You cannot migraines. We need to figure out a different thing. And so I offered suggestions to them and said, do this instead. And they responded in kind. So I offer suggestions as well, or show me this if you mean this, or show me that if you mean that, or let me hear something, or, you know, but if you're not getting it, offer up suggestions to them, because they want to talk to you too. So as soon as you figure out how to communicate with each other, then that's your language, your guides. It's up to you. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
Sure. Yeah, that's a very great advice. And right. Do you want to like pull one card for the community today, like for everyone who's watching, like anything they need to hear today?
Okay. Can do that.
Sure. Thank you.
I'm a shuffler, so I always shuffle. So
okay.
And I know, I don't know what your time frame is, but if you want to open it up to questions, I'm open to it. I don't know if that's what you want to do today or not, but I'm easy and I'm open, so it's all good.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thank you, everyone in the chat. We'll read the chat after the show, all your messages.
Well, I went to pull one card and there were two cards there. And then there was one that almost flew out on its own. So I flipped that over too, which was interesting. So, but of course I pulled a queen card.
Wow.
So
that's so lovely. Like perfect.
Well, this is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups, she is one. I mean, she's the queen of empathy too, right? And I'm going to pair her with the other card that came out with her. But just if you aren't already aware, Queen is a nurturer. Queen is internal energy. She's going to take care of herself and anybody or anything she cares about. But in her cup, see how her cup that she's holding in her hand is glowing. Let's see. Oops, right there. That's her cup of secrets. She doesn't necessarily share everything with everybody. You know, it's a need to know thing, just like what Chirp and I were just talking about. Not everybody needs to know what we do. The people that it's relevant to, those are the ones that can know. But this queen, you know, the position of the characters on the card and the direction that they're facing is important. She is looking out the window. And she's also looking in this direction. The direction she's facing is towards the future. Also, if she was faced the other way, it would be her reflecting on the past. In this case, she's reflecting on the future, but she's looking out the window because the world she's created, while it might be beautiful and she might have everything she needs, really, she's not whole. emotionally. She's not complete. She doesn't feel whole. She feels like there's more out there, that she wants more out there. And she hasn't necessarily voiced what's going on. Those are the secrets in the cup. And so she wants more in her life, and she's moving forward. Well, then I also pulled the Nine of Wands. So this is the perseverance card. So you've been through a lot. And I'm going to say this has to do with what's going on in the world right now. We want more and better in our life, and we're not feeling real whole right now. And we've been through a lot, and but you still got that one wand in your hand. Remember, a wand is creation, and it's fire, and it's passion, and you can do it's your magic wand. And while he has all those other wands that are in the past and he's exhausted, he still has that one wand left, and he's using it to hold him up right now. He's taking a knee, but he's going to get back up and he's going to use that wand. He's not done yet. This is the card of perseverance, and this is us right now. Like, we're not feeling whole, and we feel like we've been through all of these battles and all these crazy things, but we're nearing the end of it. We just need to hang on a little while longer. And then we have this Six of Wands, which is the victory. So
Wow.
keep in mind, while we're going through a lot of, interesting times right now, we will be able to create our beautiful world that queens deserve, and all those that the queens love deserve. We just need to hang in there and persevere and keep going. And it's going to take a little bit of time, but we will have our victory. So hang in there, everybody. So that's what I got.
Sure. That was a beautiful mini reading. It just summed up everything. Thank you for that. Yeah. So this has been such a great conversation. Judy, thank you for sharing your journey and perspectives with so much openness. And what I really appreciated from today is that the reminder that spirituality doesn't have to look a certain way. Like, it's something that everyone has their own path, and we have our own pace. And we'll reach the destination anyway. So that's the thing that I took away from today's conversation. And if you're watching
She's just a
now,
fool. She just keeps running down the road.
Yeah. So
She
if you're
really wants to
watching,
be queen,
and
she's just a fool.
right. Right. So if you're watching this and something resonated with you today, I'm sure you're going to love the Judy's channel. So please go ahead and see in the description below. I have linked the channel, JudiesHealingFire. I'm sure you'll love her content. I do. So you're going to love, I know that. And
well, thank you, Chirp.
Please do
thank
connect.
you very much. And for those
No
that
problem.
I guess everybody would be coming from your channel at this point, right? So I was going to say, if you don't know who Chirp is, you should subscribe. But hopefully everybody here has subscribed to your channel. And you are delightful. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And do you have any parting words?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I think
just
talked so much.
Everybody. I think that's the beauty of content creators right now, and the communities that we're growing, is that there's some of us that live like we're a blue dot that live in a whole red area, and we're like, oh my gosh, am I the only crazy person? This at least gives you people to connect with, and you're not alone. And I know that the energy right now can feel daunting and feel difficult. I've been saying it for a while. I'm going to continue to say it. I would love to normalize, step back when you need to, but then come back into the mix, because we need your voice when it comes time to rebuild, and we need everybody's participation, and we all need to stick together. And I think that's one of the great things about our little spiritual YouTube community too, is that we all have each other, and that's fun. And hopefully one day we'll all meet in person. That would be fun too. Have
Yeah,
a big cup.
that's lovely. Yeah, lovely parting words. Thank you for that. And thank you, all beautiful people, for spending this time with us. May your path unfold gently, and may you trust the timing of your own becoming. Until next time, stay curious and stay grounded. Take care. Loads of love from both of us. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace out.